Hey everybody, it's Blair with the Badass Records podcast, welcoming you in for another episode, and I am pleased to share with you that this week's guest is Josh Barber of Heirs. That's Idlehehirs. Heirs, the band. Their Instagram handle is at Heirs. Their full-length release, Life is Violence, is on Bandcamp and the streaming platforms. They've got a website, a YouTube, a Facebook page, and there's some merch on that website, so get you some goods. Episodes of this podcast air on Thursdays for the most part. You can consume it on the website, badassrecordspodcast.com. You can stream it where you get your music and podcasts. You can view it on YouTube, and the Instagram handle for it is Badass Records Podcast. And those are all the things. Appreciate you stopping by. Hope you enjoy the show. Where are we at here? I think this is going to be episode 218 of Badass Records Podcast. Josh Barber, welcome.
Dude, thank you for having me.
Yeah, very nice to meet you. Appreciate you stopping by. At Heirs on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
Life is Violence, full-length release, out just over a year ago on Bandcamp and streaming platforms. You and Sean Ingram?
Yep.
So the sound spectrum is... feels a little fuller than just two of you.
Yes, there is a live band.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So we have live members that I consider members of the band, and they're some of my best friends, which is luckily, like, it's like that common ground of, like, they're not only amazingly talented musicians, but they're also some of my best friends.
Okay.
And we did the record live out in Norway. So we flew. I wrote all the music in Oceanside, Oregon. Just demoed it, like programmed drums and all that stuff. And then I was sending the demos to Sean. And then we came back and demoed his vocals, wrote stuff to the demos. And then we decided we wanted to, like, not, because I'm a producer, I have a studio. I could have just easily did that and saved money, but I was always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I never got to do anything cool for my music. And it had been 18 years since I'd released music.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was kind of like, this is the last thing I'm ever going to do. Let's do something cool. And I looked for studios near the ocean and found Ocean Sound Recordings or Ocean Sound Studios out in Norway, Giske, Norway. And I called them. I sent them an email and talked to somebody, called them, and we just kind of talked about the studio. And I was like, this is a no-brainer. And some of my favorite bands had recorded there, and we just, Sean and I whipped out credit cards.
I looked for studios by the ocean.
Yeah.
What is the...
Well, I recorded, I wrote all the demos in Oceanside, Oregon, overlooking the ocean.
Okay.
And
get that vibe back.
I wanted to stay in that vibe.
Huh.
Yeah, I wanted it to be dark and gray and cold, and I think I went out in October. Yeah, I went out in October. I know exactly why, because I was, the closest town to where I was at, big, was Tillamook, where,
Jeez.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's right outside the Tillamook National Forest, and there's this little town. It's like trapped in like late 80s, early 90s, and on Halloween, while I was out there writing, like a couple days into the writing, they had like this old school, like, cops at every entrance to the downtown area. You had to get out and walk if you were going to do anything except to get to the grocery store. And I had to go to the grocery store because I'm in an oceanside town with nothing. There's a post office, a coffee shop. That's it. And it's like houses and like condos, people.
Some appeal to that.
It's so sick. I would move out there. I looked at the prices and went, well, never mind. But the Airbnb was great, and I got it for really great. And it was magical, and I could get out of my head. And actually, I'd probably just get in my head and write.
Yeah,
Drove the National Forest every morning. It was like 45 minutes to the other end, and I would just hit that every morning early and then come back and write, and just watch the storms roll in. It was, dude, I have pictures and stuff that I've posted online.
Yeah.
I still have some. I thought about doing a little video of it. I've got enough footage I could do something together, but I wanted the record to feel like that, and it's Norway. It's like 45 to like 62 is like the high, like, you know, or no, it was even colder than, it was like 42 to like 56 while we were there. I mean,
if we can look latitudinally from my front door, east, Norway's, you're not gonna see it because it's far enough north that
you can't.
There's a temperature difference,
and it doesn't swing wide, so it's like whatever that temperature is, you're pretty close to like what it's gonna be at night during the day. And it was gray and rainy, and we're by the ocean. Like the control room had a window that was like a door. You could open it up, and you're like 15 feet from the edge.
That sounds dope.
It would, dude. You can look it up online. It is the coolest studio. It's the most magical place. It's in my top 3 studios I've ever been to in my life. And I wanted to record it live, like people used to do, like to tape. You know, I wanted all the fuck ups and everything to be in there.
Yeah.
We did takes that were technically perfect, but I wanted takes that felt like, when we all looked up at each other and were like, that felt cool, that's when the take was good. And we had like one that was like magically one take through from the top done, but mostly it was like, you know, hey, we got to do that again. Or I would come up with some harebrained idea to add a bar of 11 somewhere, or 9. And all of those guys are great. And now, like, you know, a lot of those guys are playing with us live, and we just got done with a run of shows, and they're there.
Where is everybody?
Everybody's located here.
Okay.
Yeah. We had a member from LA, but he's kind of always been like the secret member, and he came and did one music video with us, but he's in the industry too, and he's busy. He was like doing stuff with Uncharted with Gordon Ramsay, and works with Daniel Caesar. He does really cool shit. And I was like, man, you're in the band, but you're never available.
Yeah.
But he's in my heart. He's still in the band.
So live band members, like, nobody has any beef with the fact that the digital footprint
is just us.
Yeah.
No, it's so Sean and I never intended for this to get this far.
Oh.
Like, this was like, I don't want to call it midlife crisis.
Sure.
But it was like he and I were either going to like kill ourselves or we were going to make art again. That's an honest statement. It's kind of embarrassing to say, but we were just like we had made our careers our lives, and we had lost interest in that. And I was having a hard time with understanding that I had turned my passion into the way I made money, and then I'd lost the view of that. And it was just like, oh, we got to do another record, got to write another thing. And he felt the same way. He started a company, and he gave up on music. He was in another bigger band called Coalesce. And
that's familiar.
Yeah, they're legends.
Okay.
And he wasn't doing that at that time, and there was no plans for that to get back together. So we decided to do this project to fill a void. And I don't even think we were home a week or two before we had labels talking in both our respective personal Instagrams. Like, what are you doing? What is this picture?
What?
Yeah.
Just based on shit you were posting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, he had a label that he had worked with, Relapse.
Yeah.
Talking to him.
That's what Life is Violence is out on.
That's what we ended up releasing on.
Okay.
And I had 2 other labels with bands that I had produced that I have relationships with that were messaging us. So then I called my manager and I said, hey, should we shop this around? And she was like, yeah, let's do that. And then, there's 4 or 5 labels, and Sean and I are just like, I don't know. And then it just kind of started making sense. Like, actually, you know what? Let's do it. Let's make it, let's make it accessible to other people, but do it the way we want to do it. And after looking at everything, the initial Relapse conversation felt like home.
Yeah.
And I had some convincing. I hate labels, or I hated labels, just dealing with them on the production side.
Yeah.
Because they're always just trying not to pay me. But after we talked with Relapse,
even after you hand over like a finished product?
Brother, that's a whole other podcast.
Okie wow.
It's
what a drag.
It's a dude. The music
it's not
industry.
Like they enter the conversation with an amazing reputation to begin with.
No. And it is changing. I think early on in my career, I noticed more of that. Now I think they're just way more chill, and they're a bank, and they understand that, and they're being a lot. I mean, they have to protect their investment, which makes it difficult on bands. But at the same time, I don't blame them. It's a business. They can help you put your music out, but if you don't provide them a, product that's worth pushing, or you're not going to do the footwork to help push it, it's kind of, what's the point? But, in our scenario, we weren't really committed to touring. We weren't really committed to doing anything. They were just like, can we please put this album out?
Wow.
I know. And I was...
How many people have you met that have had that same experience?
One other, one.
I figured single digits.
Yeah. I don't know anybody else that has like a label that believes in their art that much.
Wow.
So I'm extremely lucky to be doing this record with Sean and to have a home like that. Where I don't think there's been a moment in the release of this where they like fought back at us, other than gave us other suggestions on how to achieve what we wanted to do. Because sometimes the methodology, your idea's right. It's just the way you want to accomplish it may be wrong.
Yeah.
So they've definitely helped steer a couple of like, hey guys, we know you want to do that and you can. Don't do it like that kind of moments.
Are these details you're sharing looking back at Life is Violence or looking forward at something that's coming?
Both.
You have something cooking right now?
Oh, I'm now that we finished the last 3 shows. Sean and I are committed to writing the next album.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gun to your head, what is the time frame that one can do that, or you guys can do that?
Doesn't work with us. We do what we want.
Okay. So if it's 9 months or 19 months,
doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he has Sean. When I say he, Sean has a really clear concept he wants to chase, and he's already kind of got some lyrics, and he's going to continue to build on that. I am a very I have synesthesia, so I see like kind of colors when I hear music or when I write music, and I have very, very visual daydream or dreams about, like, I can go to bed, like one song in particular on this record, I went to bed, had a dream. That dream was reoccurring, and I could hear the music, and I woke up and I just wrote the song. And then I just kind of put it off to the side and ended up making the record. But those aren't, like, it doesn't happen every day like that, but I have the synesthesia is wild, just how the brain interprets sound.
I don't know this word.
Yeah.
Can you spell it for me?
No.
Okay.
Wait, I might try. Synesthesia.
It doesn't have any...
SYNEST
okay.
something.
It's really the first 3 that I was curious about. I mean, it doesn't start with a C. It's not about being cynical.
No,
it's some kind of harmonious something
it's
or other.
sensory based.
Okay.
Yeah, it's wild.
Wow. This is the second episode in a row where somebody's just on an amazing word. I'm like, what?
Well, I was describing it to somebody, and they go, "Oh, there's like a thing for that." And I go, "What is it?" I was like,
You're
"It's
in
like
a box.
It's like finding out you're colorblind." You're like, "What do you mean that's green?" You're like, "It looks like that." They're like, "Oh, that's red," and you're like, "Oh, I have been messing up." But yeah, synesthesia is wild. And I have I've been told by one person that understands that I have a unique one that they've not encountered, where I can literally daydream like a sound or a song, and I can visually see how it works, and I could just write it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So labels reach out to you because of you guys, because of this, they see the stuff you're posting. What about all of these gigs and shows? Is that you guys doing the legwork to say, hey, we'd like to come play there? Or do you have venues reaching out to you?
So we weren't originally going to tour a whole bunch, but due to, and this is to Sean's credit, the respect he has in the industry, we've gotten lucky to meet a couple people that have worked with us. So we have booking agents. To be fair, and I have no shame saying this, I've done most of the booking because we just did a tour with Cold as their direct support, and that's because of me, because I know the band, and Scooter, the singer of Cold, loves Idle Heirs, and he's like,
Okay.
come out and support us. And I was like, okay. And so we made it happen. Our agent did get us a festival out in Philadelphia and this festival in Indianapolis, and he booked like 2 shows around that. But like I've done a majority of the booking. I've probably booked about 65 to 70% of the shows we've played. Like I did our album release. I called Norma Jean and local band Double Drag, and I set it up, and we did that.
Double Drag Ian Dobbins.
Yeah.
That's the last. He was just here on Saturday.
Oh, he was?
Dropping an amazing word that I was like, what was that word?
That's
I already
awesome.
Forgot. Yeah, I mean, you'll be ripping up.
Oh, dude, I just got off the phone with him. That's funny. I produced Double Drag.
Wow. I mean, like moments before you pulled in the driveway, I was emailing him being like, I'm shooting for Thursday. I need your picture.
Yeah,
And
dude.
That's funny.
Man.
So, wow, what a trip. Okay, when you are doing whatever percentage of the booking that you're doing, are you a guy that's like Mondays 11:15 to 1:30 and Friday from 2 to 4 is when I'm working on booking, or are you all over the place?
I'm all over the place. Like
okay.
I am lucky enough to have been in the music industry and in other touring bands enough that I have relationships that I could just mention, hey, I'm looking to do this. And then me and somebody start talking and they're like, yo, would you want to do this thing? Like, for instance, we just played with a great band out at, what's it called? Postfest. And I was a fan before we showed up, and they're named Junius. They're a great band. Their new record's amazing, and a lot of my friends like them. And so I just realized, oh, they're playing directly after us at this festival. And I was excited to watch their set. And then we're loading our gear in and setting up. And the drummer from Junius, I didn't know him, didn't know it was him. He just goes, hey, I'm Dana. I'm from Junius. And I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm so excited to see your set. We start talking and end up talking to their bass player. And everybody in the band was so cool.
Nice.
And I'm like, dude, we should do something. And that doesn't mean we are or they're able to. I don't want to be a burden to them. I don't want to like force them. But like those relationships are better, I think, for booking. And like we can just have our agents figure out the details.
Okay.
And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But a lot of the stuff that we do, specifically Sean and I, is relational. Like, hey, can we hang out with you? And they're like, yeah, come on. And we figure it out. And we're not trying to tour a lot. We kind of have like a time, like this much at this one time. We would need some really good offers to go out for an extended period of time.
Right.
But like, you know, we both have day jobs. You know, we both, I'm a producer by trade and he works for a merchandising company. And so, you know, we've got we got families, you know, we can't, like, I can't chase the dream like I'm 20 and just hop in the van and be gone for 2 months, you know.
You're a producer by trade in what sense? What does that look like?
I do records year round. That's all I do.
Did you also say that you do records out of your house?
Yeah.
Is that the same thing or are those two different entities?
Same thing. Yeah, I had a commercial space. The owner of that building got foreclosed on because he wasn't giving our rent to the bank. And so I had to move my studio back to my house for the first time in like almost 15 years.
Was it close-ish to home?
No, it was downtown. It was like off 18th.
Okay.
Downtown area, Jazz District area.
Okay.
So I've always kind of partnered with these people that, you know, like attaching their names to studios. Usually people with some sort of wealth attached to it. And I've built so many studios in town, and then I get these partners that have money that don't understand art or how to make records or how studios run. And they get what they can out of me. I make a cool studio and I start curating clients, and then they lose their patience. And
because they think the ROI should come faster?
Yes. They own actual businesses with hard products. So they're like, there's metrics.
Yeah.
And, you know, I get that. I understand it. And you know what? It's their studio. It's their money. They can do whatever they want. I'm just tired of tying my life up in it because I've got to work. You know, and when you start setting expectations that are unrealistic and we're trying to build something, it takes time.
Yeah.
And I've just decided no more partners or commercial. I'm just going to do it at home. I'm going to build like a outbuilding and put my studio not in my house, kind of in my backyard.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just done. Like my wife is, I've been doing drums outside of the house. Like I'll rent studios in town.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. And then I just say, hey, come do guitars, vocals, and all the other stuff at my house. And then now I just want to get it out of my house. I want it in the backyard. So I can go inside and cook food for lunch and see my wife, and they can be in a building and not in my home.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That's the main thing.
Wow. So how long have you been producing?
I have been producing professionally. I'm trying to think. I would say 22 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does your company have a digital presence?
Terribly.
Okay.
I have a website, but I'm pretty sure it's down right now because I don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And all my stuff's word of mouth. Like Instagram, my American Josh, the American Josh, that's kind of my thing.
Okay.
And
didn't even come across that.
Yeah, that's my personal Instagram.
I mean, I wasn't looking for you necessarily, because however we started communicating was via the Idle Heirs page, the American Josh.
Yep.
Man, I'm gonna be really embarrassed if I discover that Ian said your name in talk, because he's got 4 or 5 things on his page.
Yeah.
So we touched on each of those, and 3 of the 4 are bands.
Yeah.
And making records was part of the conversation. But what and I misspoke and told him, I don't know how it come up. It's like, the dude that I have coming Tuesday, not you. I was somebody else.
Oh yeah.
So he's like, and he was like, oh, I know that guy. And I was like, right on. But it wasn't.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, like Ian is, he assists me on records. I've taken him up to studios with me, and we've done a bunch of stuff together.
I super enjoyed chatting with him.
Oh, Ian's awesome.
He was great.
He's great. He's one of the best engineers in town, and he's really doing cool stuff out there at Element.
Yeah.
And he's just a nice guy, and there's no ego. It's all about making cool art. And honestly, there's not a lot of people that do that, and the ones that do, I want to help develop them.
Yeah.
And be like, yo, that you got it right.
Yeah.
Like, so.
There's a few different lanes of where correspondence with somebody goes. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's never anything beyond my initial outreach.
Sure.
That's fine. Sometimes it goes real fast, and they're here, and sometimes a long amount of time passes.
Yeah.
And, life is busy. There's listening to you talk immediately. I'm like, man, there's just, not enough hours in the day because there's so much more information coming, to us. We're looking for it.
Oh, yeah.
A mix of both. And not to be old guy, but I mean, back in the day, it was kind of like get up, have breakfast, go to work, come home, have dinner, watch TV, go to bed.
Yeah.
And
It's a lot slower.
It's so much. Anyway, Ian and I were messaging, I don't know, 14-ish months ago.
Yeah.
And I appreciate any kind of correspondence.
Yeah.
Even if it's like, hey, that's not for me. It's better than not saying anything.
Or being rude.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, our conversation sprung to life again. I don't think maybe I instigated. I don't know. But he was like, we talked a little over a year ago. Sorry, things got busy. And it's fine. We're talking again. That's amazing. And then he gets here and he's like, so here's what I meant when I said things got busy. And I was like,
yeah,
holy shit.
Yeah, dude.
You're a legit things got busy. Mm-hmm. Not that others aren't.
Yeah.
But it's like,
there's busy. It's all relative,
Yeah.
Yeah, if you touch a hot pan, you're like, ow, that was really hot. But then there's some guy on a mountain somewhere overlooking lava going, no, that's hot, And I try to be respectful of people when they're like, man, it's just life is so busy right now. It's like, is it, bro? Mm-hmm,
cool stuff. So Idle Heirs, There's a website with, excuse me, merch, a YouTube channel, a Facebook page, and a fascinating blurb beneath all of the Life is Violence pertinence on Bandcamp.
Yeah.
So I want to run through a little bit of that and then circle back. So bear with me.
Yeah.
For starters, and I get, I had somebody design a logo for me, build a website.
Yeah.
And she was like, website's ready. Start sending me content. I was like, oh, I'm not. This is still in infancy, sort of.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'll put it to sleep. Just let me know. And months later, I was like, okay. She's like, well, if you're ready to start sending me content, hit me up with some bio first. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, tell me what this thing is.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, put it into words? Okay, so it was weird. Like, how do you choose what that's going to look like? So anyway, the stuff on Bandcamp, the blurb I'm talking about, is written in third person, which is very interesting in that it feels like Sean's voice trying not to sound like Sean's voice a little bit.
Oh, our bio?
Yeah.
Not done by Sean or I. It was done by Becky, who runs Roadburn Fest.
Okay.
She's a phenomenal journalist. And
it's clean copy for sure. I love it.
Killer. I'm losing her. Becky Laverty.
Okay.
She's out of the UK. She's a badass.
I mean, it felt very intimate. Like, it's already intimate because it's the two of you.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of intimacy and emotion sort of surrounding how things are presented, how things sound, blah, blah, blah. So I was like already in there.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wow, this is fucking.
Well, I think her and Sean talked at length. And then she goes, okay, I'm going to write your bio.
Wow. Okay. All right. It mentions you sequestering yourself in a remote part of the Pacific Northwest for 8 days to focus on the foundation for the record. It talks about the recording in Norway. Finally, the record contemplates the threat of paternal influence from generation to generation and how it can be disrupted. And I'm like, what are we doing right now? This is wild.
Yeah.
And then Ingram examines the impact his father had on his life while simultaneously contemplating his own mortality and what he will pass down to his children, with a determination to ensure that what he leaves behind in the future is markedly different to what he inherited himself. Idle Heirs have issued a missive that stands as both a line in the sand and a testament to love. And I was like, am I on Punk'd right now? What the fuck? This is amazing. Like, it's wild.
Yeah,
and well said.
Oh, Becky's amazing.
From the previous paragraph, Idle Heirs have created a post-metal album that captures a certain vulnerability within its mournful sound. And I mean, I literally, all caps, wow, 3 exclamation points, and a circle.
That's awesome.
So the Pacific Northwest, what national forest?
I was in Oceanside, Oregon. It's Tillamook National Forest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I spent some time in Willamette National Forest.
That's south of that?
Okay. I feel like it's coastline-ish.
Oh, actually, that's north of where I'm at.
North.
Okay. It was north.
Okay.
That's probably closer to Seaside and
yes.
The Goonies spot.
Yep. Well, Hillsboro, Seaside, those are all anyway.
That's that area. Yeah.
And you chose that spot based on
if I honestly, so one of my best friends, Corey, he and I have been friends since I was like 15 or 16.
Okay.
And he lives in Tacoma.
Oh.
And one time I went up to Tacoma to hang out with him just to get away. Actually, it's funny. The time we did that, I think he met his now wife just like a week prior. Anyways, that's wild. That's just a side note. Anyways, he's my best friend. And we decided, he's like, what do you want to do? We are travelers. We travel well together. And he's like, where do you want to go? I was like, we went to Astoria. That's it. Astoria, Goonies place. And then we went to Seaside. And we kept going. And we went down to one of the McMenamins over there.
Okay.
It's like they're the coolest bars. And we went to this McMenamins that was kind of at a golf course overlooking the ocean. And it has a good restaurant, lots of good beers. And the whole goal was leave Tacoma, go down there, hang out, and drive back. And just drive the coast and see cool shit and hang out, right? And I think we ended up getting a hotel in Seaside we went out on the beach and pile drived a bottle of scotch together and just talked about life. Yeah.
Wow.
We were just like, we put chairs in the sand and we went from like 5 early evening till like late at night, crashed, ate McDonald's, got up and went back home. And that we just do stuff like that. He and I have been to Scotland together several times.
Cool.
We just like to hang out, and
Is he in a band?
No.
Okay.
Never been in a band. He's musical. He's been front of house guy.
Okay.
But he just never been in a band, and he's an amazing photographer, which
cool.
all those photos in the album are from Corey.
Okay.
Because he came to Norway.
No.
He had to come to
Dang.
Norway. Yeah.
Wow.
He's my best friend.
That's awesome.
He's my Rick Rubin.
Okay.
He's my muse.
Wow.
So yeah, he took me down there, and I was so enamored with. I connected with that. And I think maybe it's the relationship between he and I that connected me to it. But when I was looking,
I love that. That's awesome.
He's just, dude, he's my soulmate. Like, he's like one of those guys that, he's my brother. And, it connected me there, and I had no use for that energy until I realized, I need to write an album. And I'd never stayed out there for much time. And I looked at it. I didn't want to do Seaside. It's kind of touristy because everybody tries to go see Cannon Beach, see the rocks and all that. But then I looked further, and then the sleepy little ocean side, it's just like quiet.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's
nice.
it. I picked that, and then it kind of set the tone for the rest of the band. So,
I had, with 20 years in the restaurant industry, enough friends, family, and acquaintances to sort of get this off the ground.
Yeah.
And then by happenstance, it took a spill into sort of the band universe locally.
That's cool.
And so I've had lots of band members, musicians, singer-songwriters, some venue owners, etc. But I mean, it wasn't meant to be that. Like, it's arts and arts adjacent. So I have professors. I have had a model, photographers, artists. I mean, but in that lane of musicians and bands, writing an album is very different from person to person, outfit to outfit.
Yep.
What does it look like for you? Is this gear and equipment is the foundation? Are you pencil and paper? Like, what does it change all the time? I
have a lot of tools in how I write songs. This album is unique in the sense that I did the stuff I normally do with other people, but I had to do it in the mirror to see myself, which was shocking.
Are you being literal?
Yeah. Like I mean, I didn't have a mirror, but I'm just saying metaphorically, I had to like look at myself and go, who are you? What are we trying to say?
Anthony Michael Hall, Breakfast Club.
Exactly. Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah. Who are you? And I've said it one other time, and I haven't really elaborated on it, but I was in another band that will go unnamed because they don't deserve the time of day. They treated me terribly.
Ouch. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. It happens. Yep. I picked the wrong people.
Okay.
And I try to tell younger bands that, like, I would rather you find somebody that's really your friend and make them better at being a musician than to find the best musicians and realize they're the worst people. They're gonna mess you up somehow. And I'm good with 80% of those guys now. All the apologies have been had. There's 2 guys that I could care less if they burn in a fire. Like, don't care. No apologies. Like, they're terrible people, and they will never admit to it, and that's why they're terrible people. They can't see the flaws in their ways, and they. I was so scared of making music for 18 years that I put my nose down into other people's music because I knew I could make other people's music better by helping guide them to their endpoint. It's not my endpoint; it's theirs.
Very Rick Rubin of you.
Yeah. I used to think he was an idiot, and then I started listening to him, and I go, he's prolific. Because he had the words and the processes for the things I felt. And I was great, like, man. He's amazing.
I'm a huge comedy fan. I love Louis C.K.
Yeah.
He just had Louis on.
Oh, really?
And you know what? Most of the time, I don't listen to I'm pretty sporadic with the podcasts that I'm consuming. Am I in the mood for it? Does this guest interest me? Blah blah blah. So I've only listened to his stuff, but my YouTube algorithm fed me this episode because I watched tons of Louis stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I didn't know he did video. He doesn't.
No.
It's just dictation. And I consumed it that way for 2.5 hours over a couple days.
Yeah.
But it was like for whatever reason, I didn't want to break away and restart on the audio.
Yeah.
So that I could like have my eyeballs be doing something else
to distract you. Yeah.
He just kept crushing it,
dude.
And I've told this story in here a bunch, but I mean, my ex, when we were engaged, got me a Christmas or a birthday present. I was opening it one year, and it was a Neil Diamond CD.
Oh, sick!
And I go, Neil Diamond? She's like, I couldn't remember if it was Young or Diamond, and I was like, it's Young.
Neil Young is the better one,
but that's okay. And it's this record, and it's just him on the cover, kind of looking sideways with an acoustic guitar. It's called 12 Songs. Do you know this album?
I do.
Oh my God. So
it's pretty good.
It's real good. We fucking danced to a song on it, like professionally at our reception.
Wow.
But Rick Rubin sends Neil to a cabin in the woods for that record for 6 weeks or something.
It was a while.
6 months. He comes down and Rick listens to it and goes, get back up there.
Wow.
And he went back and he came down and he goes, there it is.
Wow.
Right? I mean, that's not
wild.
Perfect rendition of that story, but
I'm going to listen to, like, I got to figure that out. Like, because I'm not a Neil Diamond fan, but, like, I got on a Neil Diamond kick because of a homie of mine. It was because of the, Saving Silverman.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, we got obsessed with Neil Diamond.
Well, so you do know that record, though?
I do, yeah.
Like, you know the tunes?
I don't know them extremely well. Like I said, I'm not a huge Neil Diamond fan. But there was a period of my life where that was on in the background.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Like all his albums, but that one specifically.
Okay, this is not Sweet Caroline.
No,
and
that's why I was so blown away by it, because when we started because of Sweet Caroline, you know, and the irony of us listening to it, but then you get to that record and you go, oh wait, there's something.
It's really good.
Yeah, there's something
no
here.
Skips.
No,
for me. But endpoints. You're taking people to their endpoints. It's not your endpoint. You're not making music for 18 years. You've got your nose down in other people's.
Yeah.
I sidetracked us from
No, you're good. I mean, I had, like I said, always been the bridesmaid, never the bride for a long time because I got hurt. And I was terrified of the responsibility of creating music because in my head, if I made an album, I'd have to put it out. I'd have to play it live. I'd have to get band members. And all that terrified me. It still terrifies me to a degree because now it's not so much is somebody going to hurt me, because I'm pretty good at defending my mental fortitude. But it also is I have to be responsible for these people to make sure they're happy and that they're well taken care of and that they are appreciated. But also, like, there's got to be boundaries. There has to be, like, writing members.
Talking about trauma, essentially.
And I am freshly released from my therapist she's like, I don't think I need to see you.
Dang.
Come back to me when you feel the need. So I'm kind of in this, like, like I feel like I've kind of won back my brain. But I learned a lot through therapy that it's not my fault. It's not
very Goodwill Hunting.
Yeah, it's not my fault. I cannot put my view onto other people's narratives because they may not have intended to be that way.
Yeah.
And there are clear ways when people are, and you can see them, but that does not mean intent.
Have you seen Lars and the Real Girl?
No.
2007 film with Ryan Gosling.
Mm-mm. So I got to watch that now.
He has a brother. He lives in his older brother's garage.
Okay.
He's an adult, and his older brother's married. Their mom died like right when he was born, and the dad just crumbled. And the older brother was like, "I gotta get the fuck out of here, deuce."
Yeah.
And so this kid just lived. He wasn't an abusive father, but he was, I think, very depressed and very not present. And so he's functioning in the world. He has a job, blah blah blah. But he orders a sex doll.
Yeah.
Because a dude at work is like, bro, look.
Yeah.
He doesn't. It's a companion.
Exactly.
There's nothing
Yes.
of that ilk. And so he is a part of his life. Like it sleeps in the house. It, goes to parties. It goes out with. It's banana. And the older brother's like, fix him to a doctor, and she's like, that's not how this works. And so she has the two of them come, him and the doll come, weekly or whatever, and she's got to go through these treatments that she has to rest and sleep after. So she gets one-on-one with him.
Okay.
And at one point, touch comes up.
Okay.
And they're sitting across from one another, and she goes, how does that feel? And he's like, it's not bad. And she goes like that, and he's like, it's okay. And he stands up.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm done. I got freaking out. And
Yeah.
it's like, dude, the mind and the body react to things, and it's fascinating.
It is.
And a lot to unpack sometimes.
Oh yeah. And I learned, I described it to her, and she was like, I'm going to use that. I saw my issues and what was going on with me like a bag I had to carry around with sharp things in it, and I had to put my hand down there, but I was too scared to look at what was going to stab me. I just was going to hopefully rummage and not hurt myself. And when I gave her that, she goes, I think I have an idea. And anyways, therapy's great.
Yeah.
If you're not doing it, even if you think you're healthy, go do it just to see.
You have a lot of tools for writing an album, you said.
Yeah. And so I go out to, at that point, I go out to, and I wasn't in therapy at that point. This comes way later. When I had depression, and it was unfounded to me, because it was like that. You got to be a coward to be depressed. Just get over it, kind of thing.
Where the bros hang.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I didn't really have a father figure in my life.
Okay.
And so I had to kind of be like nope, not going to bother me. And my mom was she didn't really help with that. And she was always just like, well, it's your fault, or figure it out. You got to,
Now go be an adult.
Yeah. And that's not her fault either.
No, I know.
But
it's wild to think about. Nobody's parents in the history of parenting have had any idea what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah, it was the first time doing any of it.
Yeah.
When I'm 16, that's the first time having a 16-year-old child. I can't fault her for that.
Yeah.
My mom had her own problems. Lost my dad, so she was, without her high school sweetheart, and she's got her own thing. There was a lot of stuff I had to go through.
Sure.
But I never dealt with my problems. And the way I've always dealt with my problems is I just need a week to go not hear my voice, to not talk.
This voice? Your inner monologue?
No, this voice, the physical one. The one that goes, hey, how you doing? And I really don't care. When you just are I just need time to myself. I never did that for myself. I was always giving it to people. I was either doing records or helping somebody or going out of my way, because you just do that to keep the mind busy and not actually focus on oh, I'm depressed, and I'm having issues with this, and I don't feel okay here, and I don't feel I at that moment when Sean and I were talking about doing this record, suicide was pretty on the table for me.
Jesus.
And the only reason I wasn't there is because I have a wife that I love, and I was like, I don't want to be a selfish dick.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, that's not a good reason to stay around either. And then I'm like, well, I just got to fight through it. I'm not really depressed. And I just keep telling myself I'm not that. And then I was ignoring giant glaring issues in my family and myself, and things that weren't okay for me that I was ingesting, and things that were good for me that I somehow pushed away because it would be too much responsibility. I'm going through all that. Now I know that, looking back.
Okay.
And I go out there, and I've got this new responsibility I throw myself to make one of my legend, one of the guys I idolize as a musician, happy with music I'm writing. And I didn't want to write the carbon copy of the band he was in at one point. And he doesn't want that.
You're talking about going out to Oregon. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I didn't want to write what everybody thought I was going to write. I think everybody thought I was going to write some modern heavy stuff or something catchy or, like all the bands I'm known for producing, right? Or something that sounds like anything that I've been known for. And I just didn't know. And then you get like, well, do I want to write that? Am I second guessing myself and I want to write that, but because I think people think I want to write that, am I not going to, like, am I being a pretentious dick,
Wow.
And so I go out there and I self-sabotage for a little while. Like, I could have started writing the first night I got there, but I kind of, I should drive around. Oh, I'll go to the grocery store after I get unpacked. And, I'll go to this food cart and get dinner before I go all the way out there because, who knows what's out there. And then I realize, I'm, okay, I got to go to bed. It's like midnight, 2 a.m. my time. I'm going to be exhausted. I'm just going to go to bed. I'll get up early and I'll get going. So I go to bed. I wake up early. And the first thing I said was, well, why don't I go drive around and get inspired? I'll go hit that national
All
course.
of it makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
Drive all the way out, and I'm not listening to anything. And I'm turning around to go back, because in my brain I'm going, you are wasting money. You have a rental car. You have an Airbnb. You have only so much time. Go write a fucking song, you nerd. So I turn around, and I'm thinking about why I haven't written music. And then I think about how long it's been since I've written music for myself.
This is deep, dude.
Dude, I'm talking about an hour worth of driving cracked me. And I pulled over in the Tillamook National Forest. I could stop in that place. I went back there again and I parked there and I was like, wow, this is a milestone in my life. And I cried like a child. And I realized I didn't write music because of these people that hurt me.
Yeah.
I didn't write music because I was scared of nobody liking it or all the judgment that would come with it, or not living up to my persona as a producer, or being made fun of, or not really liking what I did, but just doing it to get it done. And all these things flooded and hit me. And then there was a voice in my head that said, shut up. Just shut up. Do what you want. It's the one time you have that chance. Like, when else are you going to be? Like, it started getting logical. Like, when else are you going to be here to work through this and just do what you want? No expectations. Nobody telling me what to sound like. Nobody making decisions for me based off pressure. And Sean wasn't telling me. Sean was not the one giving me pressure. He was like, do whatever you want. Just let me hear it. And if I like it, I'll do it. If I don't. And it's like, he had no pressure. I had no pressure. And when all the pressure was off, I just put pressure on myself. And then when I took that off, dried my eyes, got in the car, put on The Cure, because there was no chance of writing anything that good. I just wanted to listen to The Cure. Plus, come on, Pacific Northwest, The Cure. It's like a perfect combo. Drove all the way back to the house, sat down, and I wrote the first song for the album, which was the one song that's acoustic. And I'd never done that. I wrote this sad song we ended up calling Mama. It was originally called Fawn. And it's because I felt like a baby deer, like in the middle of the woods.
You talking like on a acoustic six string?
I wrote it on electric.
Okay.
And it had like kind of this like really low drum thing. The demo's way different than what ended up happening on the album. The album is like, I made it hard for myself because I wanted double acoustics to make it wide, but I wanted to play it top down, no stops, no editing. So I had to play it perfectly twice. And then on top of that, I decided I wanted to hear the ocean while I was playing and made sure that the music fit with the tempo and the feel of the ocean. So there were takes where I'd be playing and I'm like, nah, it doesn't feel right. And I would stop it. And I'm pretty sure everybody in my band, it was like so frustrated at me. They're like, what was wrong with that? Like, can we just be over this? Like, I was playing an acoustic quietly, drop tuned, this far away from if I even was breathing not in time, it would pick it up. And I finally did it. And then I went and played like some organ over it and some Juno synth and stuff like that. And Sean sang over it. And it's like one of the saddest, prettiest songs on our record. It was the first one we wrote. And it was nothing like anything I'd ever done.
Wow.
And once I did that, it was like, okay, floodgates are open. Anything is fair game. And then I just wrote the record. So all but 2 songs were written out in Oceanside, Oregon.
what did it look like when you're sending stuff to Sean? Is it track by track? Did you send him a bunch?
Oh, so that's actually kind of funny. Mama, the first song, I was so self-conscious about it. Right before I left for Oregon, my phone battery died. I had to go to the Apple store and get a brand new phone. And they're like, oh, just make sure you turn this thing on. It'll reset all your settings, so everything will be fine. Well, I'm going to the airport. It doesn't fully get my settings on there. So I go all the way out to Oregon. I use the GPS, everything, but I didn't turn on Wi-Fi calling. And there's no signal out in Oceanside, Oregon. You have to use a landline. He's like, if you're not on the Wi-Fi, you're not getting a call out. So I send this song via, just email it to him through Dropbox or whatever. And I don't hear from him. And I'm like, fuck, he hates it. And then the next day, I realize, oh, I don't have my Wi-Fi stuff on to receive all the stuff. I turn it on. Bam, like 5 text messages. Dude, I love it. Blah, blah, blah. I call him. I'm like, you do? Like, totally like needy. Like, oh, is it good? He's like, just keep going. And I was like, oh, and all the pressure.
How long?
Like the next morning.
Okay.
So like I did it like that night. My goal was to write 1 song a day, not to do 2, just 1 song a day, see it all the way through. And then if I was done early in the day, I would just listen to that song over and over and over again and drive around and then come back and eat dinner and then go to bed. And so like by the end of the time I was there, I had 8 songs. But one of them didn't make the cut when we went out to Norway, but I was listening to all of them back to back, just driving around at the end of the night. I'm like, this is the album. Like in my mind, we're done. Like we've figured it out. And luckily I was right.
Did you catch wind of this gal, Euro Kelsey?
No, I haven't.
She recently decided she was going to row from California to Hawaii.
Oh, whoa.
It's this I think I don't know. It's got 2 teeny tiny little.
Oh, like the balancers on the sides?
No, it's got like 2 teeny tiny little rooms you could get in, and she would get in one to sleep for 4 seconds at a time. And it's got a rowing device, and it's got a thing that's constantly making a shitload of noise, but to keep you on track-ish.
Oh, okay.
Or alert you that you've drifted
off.
So she wanted to become the first American-born woman to do it, and she ended up beating the women's and the men's time. She got there like super fast, and it will self-right if it capsizes.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So like everything's like constantly tied down because you can't.
Yeah.
Anyway, like she hit my TikTok feed, and I was like, "You're gonna do what?" Like I'm fucking terrified of the ocean.
Oh, the ocean's scary.
And she drifted way far south. She was trying to go this way and get into the trade winds.
Oh, yeah.
So she had to
kind of deviate
super hard to get back on track.
Wow.
And still, I mean, she had wicked blisters.
Oh, I bet.
And it was like she was wearing gloves. She was changing it up, blah, blah, blah.
Well, it's so wet. Yeah,
But she said, I mean, she was doing it to raise money, but she also said there's, I know that there's a me in there that I can only see when I make myself do something really hard.
Yeah.
And I know that this was going to really feed that a lot for me. And then she was like, more than I could have ever imagined, and this will be a part of my life.
Yeah.
Until it's not, and it's not necessarily that. I mean, I think she'll do a bunch of other rows, but it's really that, like, making yourself do something really hard, and there's that mirror, and going, I like that person. Yeah,
I'm the person I want to be.
Yeah,
like, finding out you are who you want to be is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
but also isolatory challenge is crazy. Like, I think everybody should do it in their life. Go on a walkabout, do something where it's just you and your head,
Yeah. So you write it up there, and then you record in Norway. Mm-hmm. And who comes?
So Sean, of course,
And Corey.
Corey,
Yeah.
and then Brandon Youngme. He's my assistant in the studio, but he's also a good friend, and he's an engineer. So we put him behind the board.
Oh wow.
Because I can't be in two places. And then Ben Turkovic, he's like my brother and one of my best friends. He was my engineer on a couple Norma Jean records, War of Ages, like a bunch of bigger records I've done. And he's an amazing drummer, so he was on drums. Another really good friend, Chris Gotchis, and then Brad Trinkle. They're in a band called Existum that I've produced, and they're phenomenal musicians. They're great people. I was like, just come out, do the thing. Brad was a last minute entry because Maddie, the guy I was telling you about, who is in
Never
the industry,
available.
never available. Yeah. Maddie was scheduled to come with us, and then Gordon Ramsay's camp called him like 4 days before, or a week before we were going to fly out, and they're like, "Hey, we're doing the last season of Uncharted. We need you." And as a gig worker, if you turn down that, you're kind of on like don't call him. He can't pull through it in hard times. He's like, I got to take it. And so he was kind enough to pay for Brad's flight.
Oh, shit.
And Brad came out and filled in for him.
Oh, wow.
Which is funny because Brad and Brandon both Brad played bass on the album, but Brad and Brandon became our keyboard players live because I didn't want to have like a bunch of laptop tracks. And we have lap steel, theremin, tons of keyboards, piano, and I wanted it all performed live. So when we would play live, it would be 7 people. We don't do that now because it's just financially restrictive.
Yeah.
And then Brad is, he's killer. He's an engineer, and he's got his career's taken off, so he just doesn't have a lot of time to do stuff. And then Brandon moved to guitar recently and just did this cold tour with us, and also this last run we did. Because he's a guitar player, but he was playing keys for us just to like have him along. And then Chris is a brand new father at a brand new job, and doesn't have all the time off in the world, and he's got family, so it's kind of hard for him to be gone for extended periods of time. So Brandon stepped up and took over that position. So we're down to a 5-piece. So it's Brandon, and then since Brad couldn't play with us anymore, it's my friend Kenny Saunders, who's been in a couple bands around town. He's been in 6%. He's currently in the Perilous Ones and Lovely Burden. I've produced all those bands, and I just know him. He and I have become really good friends over the last couple, like decade or so. And so, yeah, we just put all the homies in play and said, okay, do you want to do cool shit? Come along. And, yeah.
So you write this record in the Pacific Northwest, and you are like looking for studios near the ocean. You find this place in Norway. You're like, that's the spot. Mm-hmm. Go over there, record it.
Yep.
And then they give it to you to produce, or do they produce it, or how does it?
No, I produced it.
Okay.
I was pretty much, the songs on the album are really close to the demos I wrote. We changed a couple things. I mixed it.
This is why I wanted to ask you specifically about that, because there is a thing, about and speaking as a person that's never done this, a minute in my life, but the mind's eye examining somebody else's work, is different. It's wider, I think, than examining your own work. Like, how do you take yourself out of something that you've created and like objectively be like, this needs tweaking and this is perfect the way it is, and so on and so forth?
It's hard.
Okay.
One of the ways we set ourselves up to win in that scenario was I wanted to do a live recording, which meant I had to remove myself from the minutia and had to just let it be what it was. So I could either pick to be a guitar player in those moments or a producer. I couldn't do both. Mm-hmm. So Corey, who was out there with us, was kind of are we off? Like, he's like her thing that makes noise that says you're not on course.
Yeah.
And there was one time where he's like, I think you got to revisit this. Like, one time during it. And I was like, okay. And so.
And you take that feedback totally fine.
Because I want to experience it as an artist, not as a producer. And Brandon was also there to help produce. Like, I had a solo in Dead Ringer that was very similar to the one before and after it. And I don't know what I was thinking originally. Like, I thought I was just kind of like evolving at the melody. And then he was like, you should do something very Johnny Greenwood from Radiohead in this. And I was like, well, what do you mean by that? Like, he does some wacky stuff and I can't play like him. But he was like, bendy and get wild. Like, just let it. And I was like, all right. And it was one of those things where I played it a bunch of times. I was just like bending the crap out of stuff and playing all sorts of weird stuff. And it worked. It ended up being great. And I'm like, I love that. Like, and without Brandon, that would have never happened. Right. I just let my friends kind of dictate. Like, there was times where the drummer, Ben, would kind of be like, he kind of adjust the feel with his playing. It wasn't exactly like the drums in the demo. And Chris and I locked in rhythm wise. Brad on bass was locking in with. It's like all those little adjustments and their unbelievable musicality. It was pushing me as an artist and self-producing it. It was like, I'm going to let whatever happens happen, and I'm not going to have an opinion of it. Even though at night, sometimes I'd be like, oh my God, what about... And then I would throw out dumb stuff. Like at the end of one of our songs, I ended up adding like an 11 bar, a 9 bar, and then a 12 bar, and it all goes out of time. And they were like, dude, we just learned. And I will apologize to them on this. I am a dick when it comes to rehearsing and polishing. I'm the let's get really serious up front kind of guy and get all the hard work out of the way and then just coast downhill. And they're like, oh, it's kind of, we're not near the time. And it's like everybody's lazy. Oh, I can't show up at this time. And I'm like, bro, I'm going to kill all of you. I'm going to kick you out. Like, I just get so hot. And luckily,
somebody has to be that
guy. And I found that works to bring out the best in people. And I think they're seeing it now because, dude, when you focus on, like, I want you to throw the ball at the bead of sweat on his nose, you go from, I'm aiming at that because a lot of people say, hey, throw at the numbers. Oh, that's a big target.
Yeah.
If you focus on that target, you're going to get generally in this spot. And that's the way I am with rehearsing is like perfection, over analyze. That way, when we go on stage or to the studio, and we just go, fuck it. We're so good that fuck it is like better than half the bands out there. And my guys can do it. And they're amazing. Playing live with them is amazing. Like everybody who's come through our camp is, I don't know why they're not doing it professionally. And I love that about them. And it's just good that, like, dude, I've never laughed or been happier more on a tour than when I tour with these guys. It's like, even when there's frustrating situations, they know how to make me laugh or know how to, like, tell me the bad news so I can get angry enough away from the situation that I don't make it a bigger problem. I'm a little bit of a hothead. So they're good at, like, wrangling me out of that.
Have you seen Project Hail Mary?
Not yet.
Okay. That's why I ended up watching that one, because I have been obsessed with that movie since I saw it.
Yeah.
And there's a real fascinating. You gotta see it. See it.
My wife and I'm now that I'm home for most of this month. I don't leave until like August 24th. That is one on the list.
There's a moment in that movie where, like, this has been reality for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and all of a sudden, it's turned on its head, and one character says to the other, "This may feel like me betraying you. It's actually me believing in you." And the other character was like, "Sure feels like you're betraying me."
Yeah.
But the character that said that,
smart.
Yeah. It's so good.
I gotta watch that. I always
watch it if you guys enjoy watching movies together, watch it together.
We wanted to see it in theaters, but now that it's kind of out of theaters, that's the movie on the table right now. I want to see something. I want to watch the Mortal Kombat because I hear it's terrible. So, like, I got to get that out of my system, and then we'll watch a good one. So, and I got to see He-Man.
It's out now.
I know. I've got to see it.
Okay.
I got to see it.
I mean, out of theaters and available to watch at home.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Even easier.
Yeah.
Dude, whenever I'm not working, I just want to be at home.
Yeah. Trend of paternal influence from that blurb.
So that's more of a Sean thing. Yeah. I don't know who.
It feels like maybe there's some parallels with you two.
Oh, there is. We kind of come from different sides of the coin, same issues.
Interesting.
Sean and his relationship with his dad was complicated.
Okay.
And Sean is a father, and he has kind of this. this view in the album about what am I leaving. Like, he wants the record to be like, hey, if you ever forget these really important things I've ever tell you, just go back and listen to the album. They're on there. And that's kind of what he put on that record.
Cool.
And again, nobody was supposed to hear this fucking album. Like,
right.
We were supposed to play like one show in Lawrence, Kansas, and just put it up on Bandcamp and disappear. So we were not prepared to be this honest about how we felt. Like,
dang,
me ever talking to somebody about wanting to kill myself publicly was never on the table. And thanks to therapy, I'm okay talking about it and sharing with people. But like, in that moment, Sean and I were not trying to be that soft bellied about it. And I've gotten better about it. We've done enough interviews and talked about it enough that I'm like,
have you really?
Yeah,
okay.
It's okay.
Sorry if this is redundant.
No.
Oh.
This is a little more detailed. A lot of stuff has been wide, but as far as Sean's standpoint, he's another guy you should have on to talk about it. And yeah, I'll talk to him about that. But his point of view is great about what he wants to leave, and his daughter was involved in a lot of the artwork on the album.
Cool.
And his son ended up becoming a part of the album artwork,
nice.
Doing something for a very specific, rare vinyl we did just for the album release. And his son Oz just came with us on our run and was like helping at merch. And it was his first time driving a van and trailer. And he's got like all these old dudes going, yo, man, let it downshift. And like, so his family's really tied to this.
That's awesome.
And I love his family. They're like another family to me. And his wife's amazingly supportive. And so he comes from that standpoint. For me, I ended up starting the concept for the name of the album, and he perfected it. And it's just about how life is not easy. It's not one easy. You got to circle the wagons. It's never going to be a cakewalk. And I was literally listening to like Sigaros, the prettiest, ethereal, whatever.
Norway-ish?
Yep, Norway-ish.
Okay.
I was listening to it while we were trying to like come up with stuff for the album.
Their record or two of theirs have made lists for previous episodes, and somebody told me, or I came across, that they like invented a language.
A language, yeah. Yeah. And it's, I mean, dude, Yonsi, the singer guy, his side project is amazing, but he's just such a creative force. That band... there's bands that sound like Yonsi. It's just like there's bands that sound like Tool.
Yeah.
There's bands that sound like the Deftones.
Yeah.
And they're amazing. And I like it because I can put it on the background, and there's no word to like guide it.
When you arrive at a place, I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, that not being here anymore was on the table, and maybe you're having this realization or sharing it in therapy.
Yeah.
And, we can do a lot of things to play tricks on our own mind.
Oh, yeah.
But when that moment of clarity happens, does your wife know?
So before the album, no. I didn't get into therapy until like October of last year. I think. Yeah, something like that. I had already finished the album. I just didn't understand what it was, but my depression got bad enough that there were physical signs of it, and I was making horrible decisions in my life. I was self-sabotage. It's like it was very parabolic. Like, it was like tolerable, and I could have just gone to therapy and dealt with it, but like all of a sudden it just got nuclear out of nowhere for like a year or two. And I started just being like, okay, now I find myself insufferable. Like, it's like I stink. And I'm noticing it now. Like, I wasn't nose blind to it anymore. And that's when I was out on a tour, and I had to like come clean on some things that were really messing my life up. And I had to get really honest with my wife before I got home. And I was like, I need to go see a therapist. I don't know what's going on. But like during the making of the album, it was kind of mild to becoming advanced, and I was working it, and it helped. I think working through that stuff helped. But just voicing it through art wasn't enough. Like I needed to actually deal with the problems. Like
Turns out.
yeah. You can talk about like, well, yeah, my arm hurts really bad, and then the therapist's like, well, there's an axe in your arm.
Off.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I was at when I was writing it, and there are 2 songs that I guided lyrically on the album. One's very direct. Pillow Talk is about my biological mother. And just the anger I have towards her. And it's kind of like I wanted to have the last time I'm ever going to talk about it happen. And I felt like if I didn't do it in song, it would never be final, because you can always have that conversation with family members. And I've ended that chapter. I'm at peace with it. It's finally like, oh, I can think about her and it doesn't agitate me. And Pillow Talk is about that. And the video is very telling of that. And I don't get into the details of it because it's just not necessary. Like people just think bad relationship with your mom. It could be anything.
I only asked because now, I mean, like you're in a marriage, a person with all of your stuff.
Yeah.
And strengths, baggage, the whole fucking mix.
Yeah.
But you're only 50%. The other person is all over there with their own mix of stuff, and you're supposed to make this life work together. If one person is going through stuff, it affects the other. I hate to sound cliche, but like, was the storm weathered? Are you guys?
Oh,
in a spot?
We're great now. Like, I had to really. I was given 50% that I was selling as 100%. And she was always giving 100%. Damn. And when I realized it, like when the numbers came to be real to me, it was too late in reality. It was far too late in reality. And she is sweet enough to have like just been there for me and helped me through it. And she's a real one.
Wow.
But man, it's funny because like, I think some people do bad things and they're just completely aware of it. And I'm not excusing my issues for any of my shortcomings. Like I got to deal with those. Like I still didn't do my part. But now that I know, I'm like, oh, it's kind of like my therapist was really good at going, it can be a light switch, but you have to be all in. Like you can't, like if you're going to say no and you're not that person, you're not that person anymore.
And weirdly, like the folks, that don't recognize flaws or do and don't give a shit.
Yeah.
There's beauty in them. Like it's what I mean, Louis has said those are my favorite things about a person. The times where you struggle and the times where you're weak and blah blah blah. Like that's kind of who we are, Anyway, I'm not trying to soapbox this.
No, I hear you.
Line in the sand / testament to love.
Again, that Sean is a majority of it.
Fair.
But like I agree with him. Like there's a lot of stuff in there where love has brought him and I both back to something that we love, whether that's people we love or the thing we love. Life is Violence is not about being like violent physically.
Right.
When I texted him about the name, I was like, I can't remember. It was like, everything about life is violence or something. Like it was too long. And he goes, life is violence. And we were like, oh, and that was like perfect because like, kicking and screaming into this world is a term, and sometimes emotionally it's that way. And then like, think about being a father and you got kids and you're watching them just take the hits of the ocean of life. It's not easy. Like, not everything's calm and beautiful.
They got cuts and there's sand and salt getting in there.
Hurts, there's sunburn.
Stingrays.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like life sucks at times, but life is beautiful all in the same breath. And it's worth fighting for. But here's the thing, worth fighting for. It's not going to come easy. No. There's going to be times that you have to like hunker down and do stuff. And if you want a good life, you have to recognize the dark things and the violent things in it and be like, okay, I'm going to fight those head on And if I got to get help, I got to get help.
Yeah.
If I can do it on my own, I'll do it on my own. Or if it's not a fight for me and I got to get somebody to help me get through it, you know? And so I think that's the overarching theme. And Sean, we had an agreement when we did this. The music was, I'm in charge of the music. He's in charge of the vocals. And we both see our ideas to the end. And then when we both go, I've done everything I can do, I'm happy with this, we bring it together. I do the producer thing. And I go, well, we should tighten this up. We should do that. And it's basically like I'm not dealing with the meaning anymore. I'm just dealing with the structural stuff. But we just do our own respective thing. So I don't want to ever like steal the meaning. I just saw a band recently like talk about this stuff and it angered me so bad. The singer who writes the lyrics and sings all the stuff was like, oh, it's, you know, about my brother who had passed away on this stuff. And then there's another jackass member of the band who goes, I dedicate this one to God. I'm like, bro, like you can, but can't you just say what, you know, like, and so I never want to take
Saying
from Sean.
nothing is also an option.
Exactly. You could just be like, a lot of it means this, you know, like you can be like, I know it means this to this person, but it means this to me. It's like, that's how I feel about the record. I think there was a moment where the music means so much to me that I can't describe, but there's no lyrics to back it up. But the one thing I do love, everybody I've talked to who's listened to it, they go, I feel what you were trying to make me feel during that. And like my wife, when she listens to the record, she's like, I just feel like this mossy, like foggy. And I go, she doesn't even know what it looks like out there. She's seen photos, but it doesn't do it justice. I'm like, how did you catch that? And then, she said once, she goes, it feels lost. And this, I'm like, how did you know that that's what I'm like? And a lot of people have done that. They're like, man, this one feels like a storm. And I'm like, actually, yeah, there was a storm happening when that one wrote. So that's really cool. I get my meaning across through when I write music, it's more about how I make people feel with it and how I feel when I hear it than it is about like, this part's really cool and it needs to transition to another cool part. I think that's kind of whack. A song will die on the vine if I can't feel where it needs to go. I'll just take that and go, okay, we'll throw that in the compost pile and let it turn into something else. Yeah. So
vulnerability and mournful sound.
Yeah.
Is that more Sean stuff or is that
both of us?
I thought so. Okay.
We were both so open, like the wounds were just like on display, and it is mournful. It's for me, it was mourning this idea of this guy that couldn't write music. It's like, I don't know how to explain that. It's just like the songs are sad. I was sad during the making of that record. I'm never going to not be a sad individual, I don't think. Like, I've come to terms with that. Like, Sean and I both hate the fact that we thrive in the sadness. Like, we're just good at like that. It's just like the life gives us these things and we thrive in that.
But you can't see beauty and wonder if you don't know how to at least go to that place.
Yes.
You don't have to stay there for an eternity.
Yeah.
Or an hour or however. I mean, but
it's just like people that are like the happy people in your lives and then the hard thing happens to them and they just cannot deal with it. That's why I'm here. Because I don't know how to deal with the like super happy moments. I'm really awkward when everybody's like super friendly. Like, you know, like I'm not good with the like people who are like too happy in the morning on the bus. Like, I can't fuck with you. Like, just can you shut up for fucking 30 minutes?
Yeah.
And let me read fucking CNN for a second and get re-angry for the day.
Yeah. Like, are you born and raised in the area?
No, I was born in Hollywood, Florida.
Okay.
I was adopted shortly after that and raised in Kansas City, Kansas in Wyandotte County.
Okay.
I'm a dot kid.
Yeah.
I have just traveled a lot, but I mean, primary residence has always been Kansas City.
So the mom and dad that we have spoke of, adoptive?
So my biological mother had me and my sister, and then she's an addict, and my father at that time was murdered because of her.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I know a lot more details on that now that I'm older, but like she could have taken care of us, but it was a bad situation, and luckily she was enough of a drug addict and into so much terrible stuff that she was smart enough to reach out to family. So her sister, my adoptive mother, took me and my sister to live with her. And so my eldest brother is technically my cousin.
Cousin. Okay.
And so her and her husband, the guy I call my father, my adopted father, he was like, we got to get those kids out of there. He adopted us. We moved to Kansas City, and yeah, that was it. And then, of course, figured out stuff online. I've just recently figured out that the person I thought was my father isn't my father, and I still don't know who my dad is.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we're trying to find. My uncle and I are in the process. Yeah, my biological father. So that was within the last 2 years. Figured that out.
How was your therapist like? You're good to go.
Well,
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I think she goes. You need to find the new things to like. I don't know what they are.
Get out there and find some new stuff.
Yeah, come back. Yeah, when you got bigger shovels to dig with.
Okay. I don't want to like linger unnecessarily in that lane. I am a little bit confused. However, that's okay.
Yeah.
What I'm interested in is in the home that you're being raised in as a young person, is there music being put on to listen to?
Yes.
Okay.
So my adoptive father was really into the Grateful Dead. He was also really into the Eurythmics.
How does one get really into the Eurythmics?
Man, dude, Annie Lennox?
Yeah.
He loved Annie Lennox.
Really?
Like, he just thought her voice was amazing.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I remember those more than anything. And then my mom, she was like a hippie. Like, they were both hippies growing up. Like,
okay.
They were high school sweethearts. And so they were into
These are adoptive.
Yes.
Okay.
I consider them my parents. We don't
Okay.
even talk about that bio mom anymore.
Pillow talk is
about bio mom.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Now I'll write a song about my adoptive mom. That one will be funny.
Okay.
That'll be good. We got to
the
wait.
hippies.
The hippies, high school sweethearts. They have my eldest brother, their only kid. They adopt 2 kids, But like the music in our house was like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh man. REO Speedway, like yacht
Pop,
rock,
classic rock,
yacht rock. Grateful Dead was like the hippiest thing that and Jerry Garcia,
Were they legit listening to Dead records, or were they just listening to the FM?
That was like my dad's thing. My mom I think she hated the Grateful Dead.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think she was into it. I think she was more into like Diana Ross.
Okay, sure.
Michael Jackson.
Do you have any Grateful Dead tunes that you recall?
No, and in fact, I've tried to listen to the Grateful Dead, and it's not for me.
Sure,
but like it's such a heartfelt thing to be like, oh, my dad loved this. But he also
I've listened to the records on the list that you shared with me.
Yeah,
Grateful Dead is not for
on
you.
there. No, it's not for me. But like what was the other? Kenny G. He loved Kenny G.
What,
bro? My dad's taste. If he was alive today, I'd roast him. I'd be like, yo, what are we doing? Kenny G, the Eurythmics, Grateful Dead.
It's got me imagining Kenny G and Annie Lennox having a baby,
right?
And him being like, "I love that too.
This is great." Yeah. He probably would have loved Daniel Tosh. I don't know. He didn't have the greatest taste in music, but he was a soft-spoken man. When he spoke, it was either hilarious or profound. And he did.
Wow.
Man of not many words, very quiet. He was the guy that if you had a problem, you needed to figure something out, you would go over to his house. You would sit out in the garage, crack a Coors Light, and if it was solved with him loaning you money or him coming over and helping you he worked at the Board of Public Utilities.
Okay.
He's just a badass. He's
Nice.
just a blue collar, respected guy in the community. And my mom was Boy Scout leader, taking care of the kids. We were homeschooled because schools were getting bad in Kansas City, Kansas. She's like,
"Oh hell yeah, where were you guys?"
We were right off Leavenworth Road in front of Washington High School.
Fuck that place,
dude. It was rough.
I was a case manager over there in KCK for 3 years, and I would have to go to schools a lot, and I hated that place.
Washington, and what was the other one over there that sucked? They all sucked.
Yeah,
Eisenhower. We went to school at Eisenhower.
Okay.
Or no, we went to John F. Kennedy Elementary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you've mentioned brother, and then so you and bio sister are adopted by mom and dad.
Yes.
Is she okay? Is she
No,
around?
she's not okay.
Okay, all right,
She's out in like Sedalia, or no, she's by the Air Force Base. I don't really
okay.
have a relationship with her.
Okay.
She's, she's got drug issues, and she's got 2 beautiful kids that I love to death.
Okay.
And she can't get her life straight. And I've put a line in the sand. Yeah.
That's in the thing.
Yeah.
So, here's what you're hearing, music-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Eurythmics, Grateful Dead, Diana Ross, all these different things.
Yeah.
And over here is the list that you shared with me.
Yeah.
We're not to that yet.
How do we get there?
I'm interested in, because for me, that stuff, Grateful Dead, Diana Ross, here, like, that's my entire universe of music.
Yeah.
Until the day that it isn't.
Yes.
And you go, oh my God, there's other shit out there?
Yes.
When you have that moment, not your list, is there an album that stands out where you go, whoa?
Yeah.
And it kind of opens the floodgates, so to speak?
It's hilarious. So, and it's tragic and true all at the same time. So my adoptive father dies from cancer at 12.
When
I'm 12.
Yeah, okay. Wow.
And he dies.
That's a tough. I mean, not that any age is easy, but there's so much happening right then.
I think that's the worst looking back at it. I think younger would have been better and older would have been better. But when you're in that 12 to 16 range.
You got toes in the awkwardest waters of life that you're about to plunge
Yes.
into.
And, a mom taking care of 3 kids. She tried to take on my half-sister at that time because, again, my bio mom was off fucking lives up. She tried to adopt her, and then he passes away, and then we can't actually do it, and there's, differences. So all that's happening, and then really quickly she gets remarried to this guy in Prairie Village, Kansas, that she worked for way back in the day before, she was married or early on in the marriage. I can't remember. And long story short, he's just not a great guy. He's just kind of a dick. Like, he makes her pay rent at the house, and she has like a half of the fridge that's hers and the kids, and it's gross.
I'm strangely, I can get to the rent part. I can't get to the fridge part.
Can't get to the he was a terrible, terrible guy.
Okay.
But I think it really broke my mom, and so we had this trip down to meet my real family for the first time. My grandma and my aunt and uncle.
Okay.
And it's a long story. I had this dream, and I pointed my grandma out in it, and my mom lost her mind. She's like, how do you know what this woman looks like? Because they had just kept that off the table, and I had a dream that scared the living crap out of me. And she's like, wait, can you point to her?
Some similar shit about writing songs and dreams and...
Yeah. It's just wild. Like, so we go down there, and I get a CD, right, as a gift.
Oh.
And I got a CD player, and it's Hootie and the Blowfish.
Okay.
It's the first CD I owned.
Darius Rucker.
Bro. When Dolphins made me cry. Like, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I can only listen to what my mom puts on the car. And it was like modern pop radio, right? Yep. And so I'm like, well, that Hootie and the Blowfish, it's a weird name, and I mean, come on, those songs are great, whether you want to beat up on it or not. Like, great sounding records, great sounding songs.
Is this the record with Let Her Cry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a bad album.
It's not a bad album. It's not for me anymore.
No.
But I mean,
my sister just posted. She was in Chicago, blah blah blah, and put together an Instagram with a bunch of slides in it, and a tune, and it's Darius Rucker. It's actually, I think it's actually Hootie and the Blowfish with a country artist.
Yeah, he's a country artist.
Well, I know, but when you're looking at the thing and it's the artist is scrolling in the Instagram post, it says Hootie and the Blowfish and this artist.
It's like a collab.
And I'm like, I didn't know Hootie was, as an outfit, was still around. I thought it was just Darius. But anyway,
that's crazy.
I digress.
Yeah, so I got that CD, which gets me into the world of, well, I have a CD player, and I have my own music now. We come back. In tragic fashion, our house is broken into, and a lot of our stuff is gone. So we have to go buy a new
KCK?
TV. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were gone for more than 2 days. Somebody breaks into the house. We had to get a new TV. It's really sad. We're poor, right? And so, but insurance, we get a new TV and all this stuff. And so I get to go into, and I had at points gone to Silo Electronics, which was kind of the best buy for us. And then, Silo, there's this new competitor in town, Micro Center, Okay, and then there's just the rows of CDs with the white handles. You can pull them out.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking at album artwork and going, what? So I get, I go buy these albums. I see Chaos AD by Sepultura.
Oh.
And it's like this crazy artwork. And then there's Arise by Sepultura. And next to that is all this stuff. And I was like, whoa, like, I like that. Hootie and Blowfish doesn't look like that.
Right.
And I'm kind of looking at it. I was like, okay, so this is a gamble. CDs are $7.99, $10.99. So I had to pick music based on the album artwork. Yeah. I'm like the last generation, I think, that had that, where it was kind of like the old school thought, but it was with CDs. It wasn't with vinyl. And so I would just go in there and look at stuff until I was like, whoa, what is this? And then I had this friend that was kind of a little like it was two friends that were kind of degenerates, and they met him through Boy Scouts. And one of them, gosh, what was, I don't need to remember his name, but he showed me Bad Motorfinger by Soundgarden.
Okay.
And I was like, what is this?
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. And I was like, hold on. I've heard like Eurythmics. I've heard Michael Jackson. I've heard Hootie and the Blowfish. I've heard whatever Christian music from church,
Yeah.
Like we went to a Baptist church. It was voice and piano only.
Okay.
So I was learning piano, of course, had to take piano lessons.
Yep.
And so none of the music was exciting or like pushed any.
Soundgarden will get you going.
Bro, when I heard Rusty Cage, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, like I was like, okay, first off, how do you make that sound?
Time out.
Yeah. And then he goes, oh, you like Soundgarden? He's like, you should check out the Smashing Pumpkins. And so then I got a cassette of Gish.
Hell yeah.
And then, so I was like, where do you find this? How do you know? How do you find these? Like, did you just look at the album covers and pick one? And he goes, dude, do you not listen to 107.3 The Kiss? And I was like, no. And he goes, Midnight Mosh Pit. You got to listen to Midnight Mosh Pit. And I was like, oh, okay. I can't stay up till midnight. Yeah, fuck, I can't. I'm a little kid. I'll get away with murder. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
And then, dude, Midnight Mosh Pit. It's the first time I heard Bleach, Nirvana. It's the first time I heard like Ride the Lightning.
Oh.
I was like, whoa. And I'm like, I would sit next to the radio with a blank cassette, and I would just start recording as soon as the next thing would come on. And if I liked it, I'd let it roll. If I didn't like it, I'd stop, rewind, and blah, blah, blah. And so that's how I got into, of course, Soundgarden was like number one. Nirvana. My brother and I were both just Nirvana freaks. We heard Bleach, and they just were getting ready to put out Nevermind, I think. Maybe.
You actually heard Bleach before you heard Nevermind?
Yeah, we heard. Wow. My brother and I were sold on Nirvana because of Bleach. And then we got Nevermind, and then, In Utero and all that stuff, which is funny because In Utero became one of my favorite all-time records. And fast forward, I've recorded at Pachyderm where they did that record 5 or 6 times. So like,
wow,
I'm connected to that album now more than I've ever been. Yeah, but I was like finding all these metal bands, and yeah, I mean, Fear Factory, early Fear Factory stuff, Metallica, of course, tons of Metallica, Megadeth. But it was like stuff that would make it to the radio.
Sure.
So when I started asking the questions of like, how does a Metallica become a Metallica? Or how does a Soundgarden become a Soundgarden? That question kept echoing through my head. And then at that point, I had really gotten into Pearl Jam. And I loved Pearl Jam. That Go record was on all the time. I was playing Quake, listening to Rearview Mirror and like all this stuff. Pearl Jam was on my Winamp player, and I'm playing Quake and Nine Inch Nails, and stuff. So I then get into articles. Like, I hated reading. Reading sucked. It was like I need to hear it. I was more auditory. But this kid that showed me Soundgarden, that got me into Smashing Pumpkins, that got me into all this stuff, he goes, "Oh, well, you gotta find these zines." And so then I start going to record stores and finding zines, and then Barnes and Noble for the recording magazine, guitar magazine stuff. And I would just go in there and read. I couldn't afford to buy the magazines, but I would just read. And he's like, all the cool stuff is in the small articles in the back about bands that are coming up. And so I go start looking at that, and then I get into Earth Crisis, and I get into Dillinger Escape Plan, and I get into Terror, and I get into Bad Religion and No Effects, and like I just go, whoa, okay. So then I'm like, all right, I need to hear Cannibal Corpse. Everybody's freaking out about Cannibal Corpse. So then I could see Cannibal Corpse. I knew what a Cannibal Corpse was, and everybody's freaking out about it. So I go and buy the album at Silo or Micro Center, now Best Buy. I go, or CD Warehouse or whatever it ended up being later. Timelines are fuzzy at this age. But I start going, okay, I know a name and I'm interested. I'm going to go find that. And so like I got a Cannibal Corpse record and I had to hide that from my mom. And then I found Korn, that first self-titled record. And my mom was like, what is this satanic, they were in Guitar Magazine with their Ibanez 7-string gems, and they're all, temp dreads looking all crusty. And she's like, this is satanic. And her hatred for it made me go, you don't understand me more. And so like, I started like, I'm listening to new metal. I'm listening to thrash metal. I'm listening to old school punk. I'm like, there was a moment where I was listening to like, Nothing Face, Korn, Propaganda, Subhumans, and like all this stuff, and nobody knew where I sat in the world. I was like listening to straight up skate punk, like Naked Ray Gun, but I'm also like listening to like Cannibal Corpse and like Immortal and Emperor, and I just, all of it was so wild to me. And like grunge is like a huge influence on me. Smashing Pumpkins and Pearl Jam were a huge influence. Nirvana, of course. And then like at the same time, I'm trying to learn how to play like Ride the Lightning and like Master of Puppets on guitar, but I like Korn, so I'm like, I like that low tuning. Like I was just all over the map. But
Wow.
I got my first guitar and I'm listening to all this stuff, so I can play Yellow Ledbetter by Pearl Jam, but at the same time I can play Blind by Korn.
So is first guitar what comes after piano lessons?
I got fired from piano lessons.
By your piano teacher?
Yes. She was like, I can't teach him. Because I would just watch her play it, and then I go, okay, her hand looks like that, and that note looks like that, so that's what that is. But I just knew where the hands would go, and I knew how it sounded, so then I could just follow. If I knew the starting point, I could finish the song.
Huh.
So I kind of played by ear, but it was more visual.
Okay.
And I remember one time I came in to play. Oh, I'll remember it. It's called Perpetual Motion. It's a piano piece called Perpetual Motion, and it is dark and weird. And she pulls the piano thing shut and closes it. And she goes, tell me what meter, tell me what key, and you can keep playing. And I was like, I don't know.
I'm not so sure that I love that approach.
I don't either, but she was a sweet lady, but was very much on fundamentals.
Yeah.
And I could play the major scale and the minor scale really well, started on the pinky, ended on the thumb. I knew how to do that. I knew how the scales worked, but I only knew them mechanically and melodically. I didn't know them like from an actual technical standpoint.
How long were you doing piano lessons?
Years.
And what age does first guitar happen?
I didn't get guitar until I turned 12 after my dad passed away.
Oh.
Because I was starting to lash out, and that's probably why the piano thing kind of started falling apart, because I couldn't care less.
Right.
And I always wanted a guitar. And so I was like, I want a guitar. And so I went to Guitar World off Metcalf by 435. And I went in there and fuck those dudes. And I'm glad they closed, because they had this section under, like, it was like this big open ceiling. And then they had a short ceiling when they kept all the beginner guitars.
Okay.
And it's dark. They had no lights on over there. And you just kind of pick the guitar in the price range. And I was like, I want a black Fender Stratocaster, because Eddie Vedder, Billy Corgan, Kurt Cobain, that's why.
Yeah.
And so we get it, and I get it outside in light, and it's fucking champagne red. And my mom goes, "Can he get a black one?" Like, and they're like, "Sorry."
Wow.
And I was like, "Dude, absolutely insane." Like
The ink on the receipt is still smudgeable.
Yeah.
That's how fresh this is. What are you doing?
dude, I just walked back inside. And so that was like
Although champagne red doesn't sound terrible.
ended up being a good thing at the end of the day.
Okay.
In fact, you know what, funny side story, few years ago, I had lost this guitar. By the way, this guitar had been on DIY punk tours, thrown off stage. I drilled a hole through it so I could, when I was playing, pick it up like this and rip it back down or spin it around on my finger.
Jesus.
I used to like put my weight on it and like plank and like in between. Like, dude, it has stickers and all sorts. I'll send you a photo.
Okay.
But
It's
I lose it.
still alive.
Well, I lost it for
oh.
like a good, I mean, at least a decade. And then I have one of my best friends hits me up and he's like, "Dude, I'm trying to learn how to play guitar. And I found this shitty guitar and you got to come tell me if it can be repaired and work." I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I came by like, just like to grab a Guinness and like look at a guitar. And he pulls a gig bag out and there's my first guitar.
Stop.
And I go, "Are you messing with me?" And he goes, "No, what is it? What?" And I go, "That's my first guitar ever. Like ever. Where did you find it?" And he's like, "I don't know. I got it from like," he didn't really have an answer for me either. And I was like, "Do you want a new guitar?" And he's like, "Well, no, I mean," I was like, "Do you want to learn how to play guitar?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Hold on." Drove home, got him a brand new Strat.
From your place?
From my place, something I had bought. And I go, "I will trade you this brand new Stratocaster for that one." And he's like, "Dude, that's not fair." And I go, "Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I need that guitar." I was like, "There's not a price tag I can put on. I'll buy you two guitars. What do you need?" He's like, I'll take it. It's fine. Good deal." And I switched it for him. Now it's in a glass case down in my studio. And it's just sitting there as a reminder of, hey, this is where you started. Like,
Cool.
I didn't know how to tune a guitar.
Right.
And it just kept getting lower and lower in pitch until I could play Korn and Cannibal Corpse, but also like get really high up and play Pearl Jam. Like I was playing all the songs. I just didn't know how to.
Yeah.
I knew it was 5-0, 5-0, 5-0, 5-0, 4-0, 5-0, whatever it is to tune. Like how you tune the guitar to itself. I just didn't know that the low E at this point was like A and super low and drop tuned. And yeah, so I was like in punk bands, like straight up like NoFX ripoff, Bad Religion ripoff bands, pop punk. I found Blink 182. I found, Naked Ray Gun, stuff like that. And I had a punk band called Government Cheese at one point.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, like I did that, but I was also in like rock bands. But nobody played metal. And then I kind of got in a metal band, but I just didn't know what, because everybody's just trying to be like Metallica or like, this stuff. And I don't know. So that was kind of the arch is like, my first bands were like covering Seven Mary 3, rock, or we were a punk band. And in fact, the band I was in for a long time was actually a joke band because I love Phil Collins and Styx and everything from the 80s. And one of the best bands in town was Reggie and the Full Effect. And I had got to sit in on a session, which is actually the first time I met Sean. Because he did a screaming feature vocal on Reggie's Under the Tray record. And I met him, not while he was recording that, but out at that studio because I was sneaking in to learn from Ed Rose. So Reggie and the Full Effect just hit, like it was something. Like I was, whoa, I want to do that because it wasn't quite punk and it wasn't quite rock and it wasn't quite hardcore and it had keyboards and I loved keyboards and I don't know, I want to do that. So I started this band that was kind of like that, and it was a joke and it was the name of it was to make fun of like the culture of like white preppy kids.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But then unfortunately the guys I got in the band just wanted to be white preppy kids and like they're the total like stereotypical Warped Tour like dude, how old is she, don't fucking talk to her kind of
yeah.
A lot of scumbag guys.
But guitar has kind of always been your bread and butter.
Yeah,
But you can throw down a drum track to record an album, the bones of an album?
I'm really good at programming drums because I never had access to a drum kit, but I used there was a program called Reason, Propeller Heads Reason, and it was called something else originally, maybe just Propeller Heads, but it had a drum sequencer in it. And I had a Zoom drum track, like a little gray thing, and I learned how to step sequence on that. And I was programming all these crazy like double bass, like metal songs on it.
Yeah.
And but I didn't have a drummer. I couldn't find a drummer who could do the double bass or anything I wanted. Or play fast for that matter.
Yeah.
So I moved to computer recording music. I had like a DoD death metal pedal into the sound card, this Creative Audio sound card. It sounded horrible, but I could record through Cool Edit Pro or Cool Edit I could bounce out the stuff, and I had this convoluted thing that would go to Tascam, like 8-track cassette recorder, and I would just do it on there. And it was like the computer was the sound source, and I would just record it down and make demos on that. And I was making this project that was like heavy, but like also like melodic and major, and I don't know. So guitar, but like I was a touring bass player.
No shit.
Because we could never find a good bass player, like at all. And so,
wait, so you said a minute ago you love keys, and you had all those years of piano. Did some of those chops stay alive through all these years? So if you need to put a riff down, you.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I all the production that I do on the records I play it in.
Okay.
So like when I went out to Oregon to write, I had this like one single octave little crappy Akai MIDI controller.
Yeah.
And a lot of the synth work that I did out on the demos made it to the final record. I just like printed it and called it good.
Wow.
And we did some newer stuff. Like they had a bunch of cool analog synths and like Whirlies and Rhodes out there, and I just played stuff there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
First concert memory?
Dude, first concert, I think I have one of the best first concerts. It was a Boy Scout, National Boy Scout conference where all these Boy Scouts went to. I can't remember where.
How long did you stay in Scouts?
I'm an Eagle Scout.
Fuck yeah. What was your project?
Oh, so this is convoluted. My project was a blood drive with the Community Blood Center downtown.
Okay. That
I got a whole thing put together at Corporate Woods. I got the radio station involved. All I needed to do, and I'm really bad at writing stuff down, it was all up here. If I show up day of, I could make things work. But the ladies that ran our Boy Scout troop were very catty with each other. And they shot down my idea. And my mom had no say in it because it was like this council of like, well, since he's your son, you can't have a say. So this one jerk, Jonna Lawrence, shot down the project. And guess what I ended up doing? Building birdhouses with the Webelos to give to a an assisted care facility.
You got that eagle.
I got it though.
Did you go to Bartle?
Nope, went to Nash.
You never went to Bartle?
I never went to Bartle.
Holy shit!
No, I was honorary Mikase. I got honorary warrior. I think warrior.
Later in life.
No, when I was in Scouts, because I was one of the camp counselors out at Nash for the Cope course for climbing.
Okay.
So I was high up at OA.
So I thought Nash was just younger kids.
No, it got up to what's the highest one? Hold on, Weebelo. I forget.
Arrow of Light.
Yeah, I did all that. Like
okay.
I was like,
does Mikase spill into Nash?
No.
Okay.
No. But since I taught Rotary Camp, which is special needs kids, we had to. It's not Bartle. What's the other one? There's Nash, Bartle. What's the one out near the cheese place?
Osceola. That's Bartle.
Is that Bartle?
Osceola.
Then I must have been. I've been to Bartle.
Okay.
But like not.
My warrior claws are hanging on the other side of that wall right.
Oh, I got to see them.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't. I pieced out after that, so I never got
the
paint. I never advanced, but I made warrior.
I got honorary warrior because we taught out there, and they loved me, and they're like,
"So you have these claws, okay?"
Yeah, but I made it to the top of OA, so I can go in the holy of holies out there.
Right. Like, sorry, Boy Scout conference.
Boy Scout conference.
First concert.
Al motherfucking Green.
What?
Yo, he played a Boy Scout. It was like President Bush, Senior.
Yeah.
Did like this, came on satellite said, "Hey, thank you guys, thanks to the Boy Scouts and all that stuff," and then Al Green played.
Wow.
Crazy. That was my first concert experience. Next concert experience after that, Limp Bizkit, Seven Dust, and Clutch at the Beaumont Club.
Clutch has played the Beaumont Club?
They were opening for Seven Dust.
Wow.
Who were opening for Limp Bizkit at the time.
Have you ever seen the, I've had some Al Green on today. It's really weird. The footage is a little bit grainy, but it's delightful of Chicago.
Oh, yeah?
In the studio.
Whoa.
And they're like 7-8 piece outfit with fucking horns and shit. And they're just fucking around.
Yeah.
In between takes or tracks or whatever. And Al Green's down the hall recording his own project, and I don't know, leaves to go to the bathroom, or somebody says Chicago's in there, and he comes in and they're jamming one of his numbers, and they're all like, and he goes, well, if you guys are doing it already, do you mind? And they're like,
let's hit it.
And so the camera just pans from member to member, and they're all, I mean, shit-eating grin.
Dude.
And he's just up there shredding, and they're all real good musicians.
That's
a great clip.
crazy.
So we got your trajectory as a musician, so to speak. We talked about producing. I felt like there was one other piece, but I'm forgetting it now. Are you good? Do we need to take a quick couple?
Dude, I'm golden.
Okay. I do want to roll through your list.
Sure.
If it's okay, I'll just roll through them in chronological release order.
I'll follow you in the battle. Let's do it.
So, 2001, Tool's Lateralis.
Yeah.
This is 3 of 5 for them, 13 tracks, 78 minutes.
Alex Gray, baby.
Alternative metal, post-metal, progressive rock out of L.A. This has made 2 lists before. Swaggy Roaches of Stony Doom.
Okay.
Had it on his list in episode 85. And Phil Craven from Whiskey for the Lady had it on his in episode 207.
Good job, gentlemen.
But for Josh Barber of Idle Heirs, Lateralis means what?
So when you approached me about inspirational, right? And there's a lot of ways you can take inspiration. And I think, being inspired musically is one thing, like a vibe or a direction or a genre. But I thought who inspired me as a actual guitar player. So I wanted to pick the records that when I pick up a guitar and I play music, I can feel that vibe. Not necessarily play like them, but like there's a box that I've created for myself around certain things. It was hard to limit to 5, but I had to think of like the big percentages. And Tool is one of them. Anima would have been the number 1 because that one inspired me on a different level.
Yeah.
Like that record opened my eyes to whatever this was.
I think the verbiage is inspirational, favorites, go-tos.
Yeah.
It's hard to like word it so that.
Yeah. This is the direction I want to go with it because I've been asked recently, like, what are the first records that you fell in love with? And I've done a lot of different lists, but like, I was like, you know what? I've never really talked about what inspired me as a guitar player.
Okay. I love it.
Or things that like, yeah, sure. There were probably like Pearl Jam would probably have been on there, but like I wasn't good at guitar back then. It didn't really inspire me. I was just copying them. So this was really hard to narrow down like how I write music.
Yeah.
So this record, Anima opened me up to what progressive music sounded like. And they're metal, sure, but they're also rock.
Yeah.
And Maynard,
I would argue maybe more rock than metal.
Way more rock. They're way more Ozzy than they are anything.
Yeah.
They're not even, they're Black Sabbath more than anything. It's like almost stonery.
Yeah.
It's like
I would argue no shade whatsoever to Black Sabbath, but I would argue on a different universe,
more technical.
Talent wise, yeah.
Yes, way more technical. The fact of the matter is like the least important instrument in the band is the guitar. Danny Carey, you're paled by Danny Carey's ability. You're paled by Maynard's vocal. Then you got the bass,
Yeah.
That like everybody, when you think a Tool, you think bass. Other than people think odd time signatures and bass.
Okay.
Right? When they think of Tool. Adam Jones, if you listen to Adam Jones, he's not only extremely technical, but not like in a shredder kind of way. He's technical in the vibe he puts out. He's playing something that could technically be considered simple, but the way he does it is very unique to him. But it's also very Black Sabbath-y. It's very stonery. It's very, I'm going to lay this down. And when he does something interesting, you get riffs like Sober or Stink Fist. And you get these like crazy squealy things. But on this record, he steps into the light of a lot more technical ability. Pacing, Justin Chancellor. I think this was Justin Chancellor's first record.
Okay.
Because I think, because Dave Bottrell, I believe, did Anima, and then this was Joe Barresi. And I think this is when Justin Chancellor came. I don't remember the first bass player's name. Maybe I'm getting that mixed. Anyways, regardless, as far as I remember, this was the follow-up to Anima. And then it was 10,000 Days, and then it was Fear Inoculum. This record, from a sonic standpoint, was like, what the fuck? And then songwriting standpoint, there's like this crazy honing of what they did. Like you got a taste of it on Anima, but Anima kind of felt like what they did on the previous two releases. This was like no, we need to make ourselves happy and push ourselves.
What Tool record did you listen to first, top to back?
Undertow.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many times have you?
Or no, Opiate.
Oh.
Opiate was the first one.
How many times have you listened to Undertow in its entirety? Single digits?
No, double
okay.
digits for
okay.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
But when this record came out, and it kind of made Anima make a lot more sense to me, because Anima was this enigma. It's kind of their Black album. Everybody's like, Anima's the one. I got it and I loved it. And I just loved it for what it was. But when I heard this, I got it on a different level. It's kind of like falling in love with somebody because they're beautiful and they're nice to you, but then going, actually, I like this about you and this about you and this about you. This record did that for me. I actually named it as one of my desert islands because Sean's desert island is Anima. And I was like, well, if we got Anima, we have to have Lateralus.
Yeah.
And a lot of people go, ooh, Schism. It's like, well, that was the single. They knew you were going to like that one.
Yeah.
Like they knew that was going to be the one that got you because it was kind of orchestrated to be that way. But like Parabola, and gosh, what's the other one? I think it's Triad. I love, like, those are like, why would you love those? Like, it's an 8-minute song. It's almost 9 minutes. Lateralus, of course, is the longest one I think on there. Yeah, it is. Other than Reflection. Reflection's like 12 minutes long or something. But there's just so many layers going on. It's a band that only has 3 people that sounds like there's 7.
Yeah.
And they really, from a production standpoint, the doubling of guitars finally happened. Joe Barresi said, hey, guys, come on. Like, we got to fight a little bit against the tide.
Right.
But he did not change the band. They still recorded everything live and did overdubs. And I never appreciated time change or composition for a long time as a musician. But this was the first one that made me notice it. And as I got better as a musician and writer, now I go back to it and I go, these guys are insane. Like, this is, to think of this at that time in music, when, like, at that point, there was, like, new metal going on.
25 years old.
I know. It's like, this thing is, like, found its wife and is, mortgaging its first house, like, age. It's crazy. Like, and, yeah, it's an amazing album, and it's not only amazing from a technical standpoint and a production standpoint, but the vibe on this one feels like Tool was always one of those bands to me that felt 10 foot tall, right? And I never wanted to see them. Like, I just wanted to imagine them because I could never, they as people could never outweigh the image I had in my head.
Yeah.
This made them 10 feet tall and 50 foot wide to me.
The Tool fan base is no secret. It's wide and far-reaching and full of fascinating, passionate folks. In that fan base, I think you could probably listen to No, This Is Why Album X is the best Tool
Yeah.
across the catalog, right?
Sure.
And I would wouldn't want to argue or debate any of that. But outside of the lens of fans,
Yeah.
and especially Tool fans, when I listen to this record, I think to myself, I think they're going to be talking about this record for years to come on sort of like a scientific, interconnected, human way, not just praising the music, but sort of like the matrix behind it.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking bonkers.
It really is. And musically, I think it's a lot more serious than the lyrics are sometimes. But I also know, like, this was, I think, was it Schism was the one they tried to do Pi or something on? Like, they tried to write music in the first sequence of Pi or something like that. Yeah. And it's just like, what? Talk about, like, trying to do something outside the box. And I don't think they're taking it as serious as their fans take it. Sometimes I antiquate Tool fans as to those people that just want to try the hottest hot sauce. Like, it's kind of low. You don't like Tool like I like Tool. I like Tool because I like finding something. Like, they hide things in music.
Yeah.
And I don't consider myself an intellectual because I listen to Tool, or that I can count to 27/4. But you know what's fun is figuring out how to write something in 27/4. Like, that's wild. Like, we have a song that's like 30/4 technically.
What?
Yeah, because it's like the riff doesn't repeat until the second bar of 15. You know,
No,
but it's,
I don't know.
Exactly. It's fun though. It's like challenging yourself to be like, can I count to 5 over and over and over again until I remember that it repeats there? And then once you do it, you're like, oh, I can't write normal anymore. Like, that's why Meshuggah is. It's just hard not to like Meshuggah because you're like, how did you? It's like I'm gonna build the idea and then learn it. And I feel like Tool's that way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they just sit down in a room and then that song comes out. I think Adam goes, well, I got this riff. And then Danny goes, well, what if? And then Justin goes, well, I'm not going to do anything close to what the guitar is doing. And it's like, I laugh because there was a meme that was like, Tool is if everybody in the band decided to solo at the same time, but it was a song. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, it's like everybody's doing something fucking crazy awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just, like, it inspired me to be like, hey, your riffs are boring. And it's kind of where I came up with the idea of no more lazy riffs. Like, if you're going to play something simple, that's fine. But don't do it lazily.
Yeah.
Like, do it with intent. And that I got out of Tool at this record. Tool, I was a fan, whatever the vibe is of that. Like, almost dystopian kind of lyrical thing. Like, you know, learn to swim. Mother Nature's going to reset. You know, it's like, whoa. Like, he's kind of just, like, mockingly, like, waiting for the end of the world because he fucking can't stand you anymore. That kind of petulance is amazing to me. I love it. That's punk rock.
Yeah.
So,
a year later, Worship and Tribute, Glassjaw.
yeah, baby.
2 of 3, 12 tracks, 45 minutes, post-hardcore / alternative metal out of Hempstead, New York. Podcast first for both the album and the artist. Tell me about Glassjaw and how their second record lands in your lap.
So, again, everything you wish you knew about Silence, or everything you thought you knew about Silence, was where I started with Glassjaw. And I loved it. But it didn't inspire me guitar-wise. It was kind of simple post-hardcore, and I'd heard that. There were other bands doing post-hardcore better than Glassjaw, I think, personally. But Daryl, their singer, had this Dead Kennedys croony kind of vocal with.
It's always a Daryl. I swear to God.
Daryl, man. What's up with these Daryls? Yeah, I remember. When did I'm trying to think of where I was at. I remember there's it's a van. I was in a van, but not on tour. I was in a van with a youth group. I had gotten hired to run sound for this youth group thing. And I was kind of ostracized because I was like the non-religious guy in the youth group. Like, I was religious, but like I don't think they knew that I had checked out on it. but I was doing the thing because, like, the closer you get to churches, the more you find the hypocrisy. Like, if you're gonna believe in God, that's fine, but
Josh, I want you to tell me about your relationship with Jesus.
dude,
We're cool. That's all you need to know.
yeah, I love the idea of God. I hate his fucking friends.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I want him to be real because it's better than some alternatives.
Yeah.
But like, God, people are
You
Western religion.
Literally right there. Since I brought up Project Hail Mary,
Yeah.
have touched on like 5 or 6 like very important lines.
Oh, I gotta watch this.
It's
movie.
great. It's crazy. Anyway,
Yeah, but
youth group sound.
youth group. I'm in a van coming back. Everybody's kind of on this like community high, like we've all hung out. We're all so like remove religion from it. It was a super positive, uplifting, bonding thing, but we're all teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
So there's hormones. There's like sexual tension. We're in a van. There's this girl kind of flirting with me. I'm like, whoa, this is sick. I'm in a van, like completely free. Like we're stopping at like gas stations and getting soda and Milky Ways and stuff. And this record had come out, and I had the CD because
on your person.
Yeah, on my person because
Okay.
it was the clear one. Like the album looked like this. It was dope, and I lost it, which is tragic. But I had bought it because again, I was still the guy who would go to the record store and buy a CD because Glassjaw's putting an album out. I'm gonna go buy it. I don't even know what it sounds like.
Killer album cover.
Right. So, and then on top of that, the reason I really wanted this is they worked with one of my idols, Ross Robinson.
Oh.
And Ross Robinson, as you know, had done Slipknot, Korn, Limp Bizkit, The Cure, so many bands. And he was this like figure that the internet hadn't quite exposed his personality, but everybody's like, he's eccentric and weird. And I'd seen like VHS tape clips of him like working on the Who Then Now VHS that Korn had put out, or it was a DVD or something. I saw clips of him and he's like in the room, like yelling at him. And I'm like, who is this magician? Like, this is where I start becoming a producer in my brain. It's like, who is that guy? I start noticing names. And so I got this record. I'm listening to it. And, Tip Your Bartender comes on. Bat, 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 dot, dot, dot. And I was like, first off, that guitar tone is sick. Second off, what a way to like, it's like Babe Ruth stepping up to the plate and going like, this record's going to kick ass.
Yeah.
And it kicks in and it's like, production wise, it's amazing. Mixed by Mike Frazier. The single was mixed by Chris Lord-Alge, produced by Ross Robinson. And it's one of the best post-hardcore bands from Long Island, New Jersey. And they were just, at that time had been to Warped Tour and I saw the white, what everybody refers to as the white t-shirt era Glassjaw, and Daryl Palumbo gets hauled off stage by a paramedic because of his Crohn's. He like collapses on stage.
Oh shit.
And so I'm like, now there's this whole like, lore. I'm like, who's this madman? Like when they came out at Warped Tour, they started with Tip Your Bartender. And like I saw the guitar player smash his foot down on this Line 6 modulation pad. Like not like touch it on. Like he had come out and just stomped it to shit. Starts playing this song and Daryl comes out and he goes, "Fuck you, we're Glassjaw." And like they go into the set and you're like, oh my God, that energy was like, it transferred from him to me and it just stayed. And I was like, okay, whatever this is, I have to be that. And this record, there were 2 songs that were released later from the label that I had caught through like a underground scene. They were like, oh, there's 2 more songs that nobody got. Like, and I think it was like, it was some weird C word and then El Mark. And I had heard those.
This is like the Japanese.
It's like a B-side.
Yeah.
But this was like a burn CD going around the internet you could download and burn.
Wow.
That was unreleased. And I'd gotten it because I had other dudes in hardcore bands that had gotten it because they knew such and such from the movie Life who's out in New Jersey that knows, like one of those things. And I felt really in on the scene. Like, and that's how the hardcore scene kind of felt. It was like real community based, right? Like the punk scene, but like heavier.
What does the white t-shirt era mean?
They just wore white t-shirts.
Like, are these like super baggy?
Nope. I mean, they wore the baggy jeans. Like they were total like New Jersey borough guys, but like They came out on stage and everyone was just wearing like a blank Walmart white T-shirt.
Really?
Yeah. Look up white T-shirt era Glassjaw.
Okay.
And it was like this thing, like Justin Beck had like these X's for straight edge on his cab. Like it was crazy. It was like this hardcore movement. It was I heard about it before I even saw it.
Oh.
Yeah, I just heard that record because of I think hxmp3.com or something like that. The first one, everything you thought you knew about Silence, and which is funny because actually the drummer from Godsmack played drums on that record, Shannon Larkin.
Wow.
Yeah, so a little tidbit. But yeah, so this record, just from a production standpoint, made me go, "Whoa, that's them in a room." And later on in life, I got to meet Ross Robinson and go to his house. And I got to ask him crazy questions about all these records and just like, how did you record that? And like, what did you use?
Was he cool?
Oh, Ross is amazing, dude. Like,
Okay.
he is a little bit psychotic, but I think that's a part of his magic. Like,
Yeah. But did the questions didn't bother him?
no, and it's hearing it from his standpoint and the band standpoint, because I know a couple bands that have worked with him. I worked with Norma Jean, and he produced a Norma Jean record, and to hear their side of the story and his side of the story is wild.
Nice.
But like, I think I befriended Ross. I mean, he probably doesn't. I mean, we've texted once or twice. He asked me to come out and engineer with him on like a Dead Cross record, but I was taking on this job at Strange Music with Tech, and I didn't want to move my wife to California. It was like, he was like, just live in my house. I'm like, no, like, I can't do that. But it was like cool of him to offer that, and cool to talk to him. And he took me to coffee, and like he pointed out where Sid from Slipknot lives above this coffee shop. And he was just really accommodating. But like, I asked him a couple questions about Glassjaw, and he just was like, yeah. And it fortified the fact that Glassjaw is just an amazing creative force that like was in my head. I just had to know that it was real. Like, cause some bands in the studio, they like the producer really pulls it out of them, but like, no, that's just them. Like,
oh, wow.
So, mad respect to that band, and the way, I can't remember the guitar player originally. It's Justin and another guy, Todd, maybe? I don't know. The way they played guitar, like the wah and the modulation and delays in their guitar tones, the high gain tones and the clean tones, and, it really inspired my sound that was in my head. I was like, whoa, like whatever that is, like that real, wow, like it sounded like it was screaming as much as Daryl Palumbo is. Like it just had this like filtery, crazy thing.
That's awesome.
It made me go, okay, write interesting riffs, odd time signatures with Tool, like be serious and dark and really mindful, right? And then there's Glassjaw that's like, do whatever the fuck you want and do everything all at the same time forever.
Take your dick out.
Yeah, exactly. Run around stage, scream like it, and then like guitar is irreverent.
Yeah.
And like, so if you take irreverent and technical, that was kind of like where I was moving toward. Like
Kenny G and Annie Lennox having a kid.
Exactly.
I mean.
There you go. Back to that. Yeah, I got it from my dad. But yeah, I love this album. I was actually listening to this today to get ready.
Nice.
I was like, oh, God, I love this album, dude. Pink Roses, I could fight somebody to that song with a smile on my face like a madman. I just love that song.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like a 3-minute banger. So, but yeah, love that album.
1 year later, we get You Come Before You, Poison the Well. This is no. Yeah, 1 year later.
Yeah.
Okay. 3 of 6 for them. 12 tracks, 42 minutes. Metalcore, hardcore punk from Coral Springs, Florida. Another podcast first. How's this one land on hit your radar?
So because I had gravitated to like the punk hardcore scene mostly in my musical taste. I had heard about this album Opposite of December, which was like, everybody's like, there's this melodic hardcore band or metalcore or whatever. And it was like breakdowns. Breakdowns are starting to become the norm in the scene of hardcore. And, who doesn't love a good breakdown? I love a good breakdown. So I heard this, album from them, and I was like, whoa, this band's wild. Like, I had never really listened to like metalcore-y kind of riffs. That was kind of the first band that put it on my radar. But, Jeff, the vocalist, had this unique scream, but he also had this beautiful singing thing. So like Daryl, the singing thing's like, whoa, it's very animated, but Jeff from Poison the Well had a very crooner, like Smith's kind of voice, but his scream was so powerful, very aggressive. It reminded me like, Cannibal Corpse, very deep, low, angry, blah, blah, blah. But like, this was like, there's that, and then there's Daryl, and then there's Poison the Well. And I just kind of identified with it. And I'd heard that record, and then I heard Tear from the Red, which was like their big breakout, and it was just like everything was da-da-da, like just headbangy, breakdowny, all this stuff. Then I'm in love with Tear from the Red. I have everything from Tear from the Red. I love that band. But I just, like, my hand didn't do the, like, metalcore thing. I could play it, but, like, I would just not naturally write it. So there was a tour, I can't remember the name of it now, but it was Jimmy Eat World was doing an acoustic set. The Lawrence Arms were on it, and Poison the Well was on it. And Poison the Well was playing, it was at the Beaumont Club. And it was something to do, it was like a suicide prevention tour. It was really cool. Heart something. I can't remember what it was. But so I'm walking. You know where the Beaumont was, right?
Yeah.
Downtown. Okay, so Beaumont and then the infamous pizza Kelly's.
Kelly's
there and
Slice.
Joe's by the Slice.
Yeah.
So I'm in between Kelly's and Joe's, and there's this dude in a blue flannel, looks like a hardcore kid, and he goes, "Hey!" I look across the street and he goes, "What time is it?" And I go, "I don't know. Check your fucking watch." And he goes, "Oh, I don't have a watch." And I go, "Oh, I'm just fucking with you." And I come across the street. I was like, "It's like, one something. I don't know what it was." But I was going to go to the show. And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool. I was just waiting for this pizza place to open." I go, "It's open. It just always, they didn't have an open sign." And he goes, "I thought you had to go through the bar." And I go, No. And I walk in there and I was like, he's like, "Yeah, I'm getting ready to play a show down the street." And I didn't put two and two together. Like, why would a guy in a band that size be just walking down the street? I thought those guys, like, hang out backstage or do cool or on the bus or whatever. My concept of touring was, like, I am the van trailer guy.
Yeah.
Poison the Well should be on a bus or flying in.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Yeah, come in. Let me get you a slice. It's Kansas City's, like, best pizza." And I was telling him how, like, all the people from Kansas City's health department, this is the place they go eat because it always passes like with flying colors. And he goes, "No way." And so we get a slice and he goes, "Are you going to the show?" And I was like, yeah, I just got here early. I just hang out. And he goes like, "Well, do you want to like hang out?" And I was like, "Oh yeah. I was like, "What's your name?" He's like, "Oh, it's Derek." And I was like, "Derek. Okay. Huh. Why is Derek like throwing up like it's the guitar player for Poison the Well."
Wow.
And so I was like, "Yeah." So I end up going. He's the nicest guy.
That's awesome.
But they play a lot of stuff from, Tear from the Red. It was phenomenal, right? Great show. And, maybe I've seen him so much, like maybe I'm taking concerts in my mind. But I do remember that interaction. And it was like Jeff, the drummer, and him. And they were both super sweet guys. And Ryan Premack, I ended up meeting him later. But we sat there and he had a beer and we were just talking and he was just like, yeah, we're getting ready to go do a record. And he's like, "We're going to go to Sweden and do this record." And he was telling me about it, how he was like wanting to make it noisy and he wanted to use nothing but old instruments and they had all this stuff.
You're producing by this point.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing like little bands.
Like none of this is foreign.
No.
Like you can, musician, producer, fan.
Yeah.
You can hang in all three lanes or whatever.
And I'm touring. I'm doing like little punk shows.
Yeah.
And so, I know a lot of like the bands. We're into a lot of the same things. And so anyways, he's telling me about this and that's it. Like off I go. Years later, my band's playing Warped Tour and Poison the Well is on Warped Tour. And I see Jeff and somebody else, and like I think Simple Plan was playing, and they're just standing with their backs to the stage with their middle fingers up, and they're like, "We do this every day." And I see Derek, and I go, "Yo, what's up?" And he goes, "Hey, our album's out," and he gives me a copy of this.
What?
Yeah, and they had just signed to Velvet, or Velvet Glove, or I don't know. It's a subsidiary of like Universal or Capitol or something like that. And they went and worked with the Swedes who did the Refused album, The Shape of Punk to Come, which is would have made this list.
It made a list recently.
Yeah, it's one of the best albums of all
I forget
time.
whose it was,
But it didn't inspire me to play guitar. It inspired me as a musician to Babe Ruth stuff, because that's what the Refused are like. If you're in the punk and hardcore or post-hardcore or whatever, you just can't not like the Refused or Refused.
Maybe Dane Bridges had it on his list.
And that's why I think I'm here, is because of Dane.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Dane's like my barista at the Dutch Brothers down the street from my house.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and I have become friends. He's come to an Idol Airs concert. He's like one of the coolest dudes.
Hell yeah, that was his second time on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
sick.
mean, I had him on ages ago, like maybe 3 years ago. And it was a fascinating conversation. His dad, like, commented on the YouTube, and he's like, dude, great job. It's my son, blah, blah. Also, I love the bed of music you chose for the intro and outro. And I was like,
that's awesome.
And it got I get very, very few views or streams. Just whatever. It doesn't matter.
You gotta start,
it'll
grow.
But at that one, like, a lot of folks checked it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, shout out Dane.
Yeah.
Dane and Ian. Homies.
I don't even, he reached out to me and he was like, hey, like I said, 3 years-ish. And he goes, I've been keeping tabs at the show. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, and I'd like to come on again. I was like, well, fucking let's do it. Anyway.
Dude, hell yeah. Well, like, this album, man, like, the artwork, the sound, it's, they did it live. They did it to tape. It's this giant jump. And I think what happened is, like, major labels saw this thing happening in hardcore and how it was, like, boosting up, like Ferret Records and all these labels were, and this band specifically was blowing up. Like people were just losing their mind. And shout out Don Clark from Invisible Creature. He did the artwork for this.
Okay.
And the Clark brothers are amazing artists. So it's kind of this like, and they're in a great band, Demon Hunter. Well, they were in Training for Utopia, and then Ryan Clark started Demon Hunter, and whatever. We know the camp, great dudes. I just saw Don out at Furnace Fest, a couple years ago. But so, anyways, this album more than any influenced me as a guitar player, because it was the breakdowny thing, but they used like I think the rule is like don't use any instruments between or before 1973 or something like that. And I think they did 432 hertz instead of 440, which is the traditional tuning. And there's the singing on it is like the best Jeff has ever sounded. Like really honed in on his singing. But Ryan is like an unstoppable force creatively for that band. And I think his riffs and what they did sound wise for this, because it's like borderline a noise record. It's like really shrill guitars and Telecasters and hollow bodies and stuff. And that inspired me. And there's all these like tracks that you can just kind of hear them jamming in a room. And then they turned it into an interlude. And then they have like super punk, like fast songs like Crystal Lake. But then they have like Apathy is a Cold Body, which is this kind of just big monumental thing with a huge chorus. And it just was unafraid to be hardcore and beautiful and push the genre and not give the kids the breakdown record they wanted, And the breakdowns they have on it, like, are not traditional, like chugga chugga wee breakdowns. They're like different, and it should have ended up on the list. But my favorite album by this band is Tropic Rot that Steve Everett did, and it's like again another push in the right direction. And I think Steve more so than the Swedes understood what Poison the Well was trying to do. I haven't quite gotten the new record. It feels a little forced to me. Songs are great, but like this record to me is
How many listens have you given it?
5, and it hasn't gotten me yet.
Wow.
It's just too overproduced.
That's fine.
I think it's well produced. I think it's fantastic, but like it's I want whatever they did with this and then the record after it. Gosh, why am I losing the name of it? There's 3 records in a row. This one, the one after it, and then Tropic Rot that were like, I just was like, they're unstoppable.
Yeah.
But then this one is like kind of too polished and too.
If your absolute favorite band of all time made every record they made you loved, it would be weird. Or if your
Yeah.
favorite, if you loved every book your favorite author ever wrote,
Yeah.
you'd be like, what's going on here? I feel.
I think my hang up is being a producer. I think
Sure.
I hear the way it was produced and go, that's not
Sound like Ian.
right. Yeah.
Or vice versa. I don't know.
Same.
Yeah.
It's just like, I need to get out of my own way and listen to that from a fan standpoint.
He sat there on Saturday and goes, I can't like listen to music for joy.
Not
and I was
anymore.
like,
It's hard.
go fix that. That's sad.
I'm working on it.
I get it.
It's giving up a little bit more. But this record to me, like, man, I am not afraid to say, yes, I'm 100% ripping off whatever this vibe is. I'm not ripping off riffs. But whatever they did here, I'm always chasing that. And maybe that's a hindrance. Maybe
That's
that's
fun.
a help. It is. It's like there was something about this band out in Sweden, my band out in Norway, them tracking it live, my band tracking it live. It was this kind of like experiment, like, fuck it, let's do this thing. That's how we did it. We tracked our whole album on hollow bodies through quad cortexes. Like, they used old amps and old guitars. Like, there's something about this that I romanticize that I finally got a piece of, and I understand this record more now because I feel like I kind of did that. And also to work with the Swedes, the guys who did the coolest post-hardcore record, post-punk, whatever you want to call it, Refused record that shaped so much rock music and punk music and hardcore music. So, like, yeah, this record to me, like, I took the two things I got from Tool and Glassjaw, the rowdiness of Glassjaw and the textural thing, and then the precision and the forethought and darkness of Tool. And then I got this, and I was like, this is like not letting what you've done be the anchor that keeps you in one spot. But it also is just like, it's punk, it's rock, it's hardcore, it's pretty, it's nasty. And I'm just like, Ryan Premack is just one of the best guitar players in this space, and he's underrated. That band is underrated by a lot. So yeah, this record, man, to come off, you know, and to be fair, like, I think Glassjaw is probably a higher polish production than I would say this one is, but this one matches it, which is wild. And they took such an old school approach to it. So it's kind of cool. It's like new school, old school, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Well, speaking of the Swedes, Cult of Luna, Vertikal with a K, 2013, 6 of 10, 9-track, 65 minutes, post-metal, sludge metal out of Sweden, third straight podcast first. How's this one wind up batting cleanup on your list?
Man, so I was a big ISIS fan and Neurosis. And although I love those bands, it never got me. It never locked me in. So then I found Cult of Luna and I found Salvation. I think this is 3 albums prior. I don't remember. But I know that there was like a long break before this record came out.
Okay.
And then this record, from a production standpoint, was so wildly different than their other albums. And it feels very cold. It feels very robotic and put in place for post-metal. And it's so desolate. This record, yeah, Vertikal, it's crazy. And the first comment I heard about this before I got to listen to this record, somebody was talking trash on it because there was a dubstep part in it.
Okay.
And I was like, there's not a chance there's a dubstep part in a Cult of Luna record. And so I went and listened to it front to back. And I think the first pass, I was so intent on finding Waldo that I didn't really listen to it. And I was like, what are they talking? I didn't hear anything. So then I went back and listened again. And I was like, this record is fantastic.
I really enjoyed it. And there's an intrigue to me in this sort of thing that Metallica, especially on some of the earlier stuff, and Tool do, in that, I don't want to say every track, but a lot of tracks are like a journey.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like there's almost chapters.
Yes.
And you're like, fuck, what next? And then it's kind of crazy and wild and goes all that. And then you kind of get an epilogue.
Yep.
And there's something of that ilk happening in the tracks of this, which I found very enjoyable.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say they're in some pocket with Tool and Metallica.
No.
I just liked the way that the tracks were structured.
And I'm not 100% positive, but I believe this is a concept-ish kind of record.
Okay.
Which, I mean, Cult of Luna kind of has concepts to their stuff, but it's more, I feel, abstract. But this one, I think they had like a very specific thing they wanted to do. I've been lucky enough to like chat with Johannes Pearson, from the vocalist, guitar player, main writer. He's a fan of Idle Heirs, and we're really lucky to even be able to say that. But, I'm a fanboy for Cult of Luna.
Okay.
Like Ocean Sound Studios, they did one of their records there. And this one inspired me. So if I go back, Tool, and then the punk scene, Glassjaw, and then Poison the Well, and I take all that and I take that dark storytelling, whatever the vibe is that Cult of Luna does, it's not a guitar thing and it's not a composition thing. I mean, maybe it is tied into composition, but whatever Cult of Luna makes me feel, I'm always fighting to try to feel the same thing when I write guitar. I can't play guitar like those guys. Like I don't rip off Cult of Luna because I don't want to disrespect it. Like I want it to be like its own thing. There are moments in our records that have Cult of Luna-y vibes because our songs are long and they're sad and they're droney. But like Sean's vocals can't do what Johannes does, and I can't do what he does guitar-wise. And their keys are very unique, and my keys are more my keys are more Christopher Nolan than they are Cult of Luna. Like I like big, like droney, symphonic-y stuff, and this record is amazing in the way that it makes me feel. Like my favorite song on it is Mute Departure.
Okay.
And
what's the runtime on that one?
It's 9 minutes.
Yeah. Is it early-ish?
Oh, it's later in the record.
It's later?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The shortest song on that record is the softest all singing song. It's I think Passing Through. I think it's like 5 minutes long. All very short lengths for Cult of Luna. I think like one of my other favorite songs is Vicarious Redemption on this, and I think it's like 15 minutes long. I love long songs. I will never, when I produce bands, I'm always like, hey guys, let's keep it down under the 4. We want to, like when I'm doing something that needs to be marketable. But like for me, I'm already working on like a song that my label's going to hate because they're like, now we got to do a 4.
Do what I say, not as I do.
Exactly. Yeah. It works for me, not for you. Yeah. Unless you bring me something like that, I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you down. But it's got to hit. It's got to hit. And Cult of Luna, their songs don't feel long to me because they take me on a journey. Like they flow perfectly. And also on this record, I noticed melodically, they do things that are like themes like you get in movie scores, where that melody will come back in another spot in slower or in a different key. And you're like, oh, I know that melody. They do that a lot. And I think they are like, I feel like Johannes is more of a conductor than he is anything. Like he's truly a composer. And the guitar's just rough around the edges. It feels like a bunch of dudes who've been doing it for a long time, and it's refined. And this one inspired me. Like, I really like the album after this, Long Road North, a lot. But I like it a lot. It didn't inspire me musically to write. It inspires me to write music because it's phenomenal. But like, and a lot of people say Salvation, oh, that has like the, I think Ghost Trails is on that and stuff like that. But this record, I don't know what it is, but this one clicked with me.
Cool.
And man, it made me go, okay, I need to be better about songwriting. So
nice.
Yeah.
Almost bringing us into modern-ish times. 2019's Drown the Traitor Within.
Yes.
Lorn.
Yes.
7 of 7. Let's see here. 8 tracks, 23-ish minutes.
Mm-hmm.
One final podcast first for this IDM industrial artist out of Normal, Illinois. I say this all the time, but there's, sort of like the Outreach, there's different camps of my reaction to seeing your list.
Yeah.
I know all those records. I don't have to listen to any of those because I know them by heart.
Yeah.
Some of this I know, some of this is I don't know what this is, and then some of it's like I don't know I've never seen any of these words together in this sequence. So I get your list.
Uh-huh.
I go, well, I know Lateralus.
Yeah.
Nothing else. I've
Sick.
never read these words together. And so my brain automatically goes Tool and then the other 4 records.
Yeah.
And I go, I wonder if there's a curveball in here. And
There it is.
there it is. So your relationship with Drown the Traitor Within is what?
So, I love keyboards.
Okay.
I've always loved synthesizers. I didn't know much about them. And everybody in my world, if you ask any guy in the rock, metal, punk scene, they're going to, when you say industrial, there's 2 routes you're going to get out of that. You're going to get KMFDM or you're going to get 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
9 Inch Nails, of course I could mention 9 Inch Nails. There's some of my favorite records of all times are 9 Inch Nails. I listen to Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross scores probably 80% of my week when I'm driving.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't listen to like rock music. I listen to, like right now I'm listening to Bones and All, the score for that movie that he did. It's beautiful. It feels like summer, feels like cicadas and like yellow and hot, like humid.
Heavy.
Yeah, and it's
Thick.
dude, it's like classical guitar and drone-y synths and like,
Oh, cool.
you gotta listen to it. Have you watched that movie Bones and All?
No.
Watch it.
Okay.
It is fucked up. It's it's a love story and it's a drama, but it's also just terrifying. Excuse me. Lorn.
Yes.
I go down a rabbit hole of trying to reinvent myself, what I listen to, because everything I listen to is close to the artist that I work with, or I'm doing research on the artist I'm working with, or I'm doing research on production, or like, ooh, I got to figure out how to make that snare drum sound. And I hit this like, fuck it. I do what I do and I know what I do and I do it well. And I'm just going to do that. So now I want to focus on things I've never given time. So I go down this electronic rabbit hole. I end up on YouTube and I just start going through playlists and letting stuff play. And when I think it sucks, I just skip it or say, don't ever show me that again. And I happen on this video of these girls dressed up like they look like zombies and they're in short skirts, like in a high school like cheer team, and they're dancing through a diner. And there's this crazy music I've never heard before or anything like it. And it's this song Acid Rain by Lorn. And it's got this creepy high falsetto singing thing. And it's like hip hop in nature, but it's slow. And it sounds like sound design from a movie, but it's heavy in a way that I've never felt before. And it feels so depressing, and it feels so sad, and it feels so like I'm awake at 4 a.m. in the morning and something tragic happened like 8 hours prior to that, and I'm just awake, and it's quiet and it's dark. And it feels dirty. Like, when you're driving around and you smell something decaying, but you can't see it? That's how Lorn makes me feel. Like, something bad happened here. I'm not in the middle of the bad thing. I'm just somewhere where something bad happened. That's what Lorn makes me feel. It feels reminiscent of a dark thing. And so I listened to that record, Maze to Nowhere, and it just blows my mind. I've never heard anything like it. It's one of those moments where I'm like, there are things that sound like Lorn, and there's Lorn. Those are the only two things. Oh, wow. There's a time before Lorn and a time after Lorn. And so I fall in love with this, and then I hear that song, and I go, hold on, what? And so I start looking up his whole catalog, and I realize he was on Brain Scatter and the Flying Lotus label, and I look for every article and interview, and he's only done very few, and he's a big Aphex Twin, like, that record, I can't remember the name of it. It's the big Aphex Twin record. Who's Your Daddy or something, I don't know. Inspired him, and he's just this, like, I really, like, I hear him talking, and he's kind of like, I connected with him because I feel like I do the same thing. Like his nomenclature and the way he's kind of like, I don't know, I'm a fucking idiot. I just kind of do this thing. I feel that way. I'm like, I don't know how to explain it, what it is I do. I heard these things and I'm trying to replicate it. I don't fucking know, dude. Just make some fucking music.
Yeah.
I'm not smart. I'm not intelligent.
Yep.
I kind of feel like Trent Reznor's like, he's the intelligent version of that. But he's the same way. He's like, I don't know, you just make fucking music. Shut the fuck up. So I did that, and I start going down the rabbit hole, and he releases this album. It came out in 2 parts. It was like an EP, and then I caught the end where it all was one record. And first song I heard off this was this song Time Sync, and there's no drums. Everything I'd heard from him, his drums are just insane. I've never heard drums sound so good on a record and hit so hard. And I hear Time Sync, and there's no drums on it, and it's pretty. And it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but when I heard it, we were driving around Scotland, my buddy Corey and I, and it was the first time we had gone through this big national park there, and we were just listening to this record, and like he and I emotionally connected with it in that moment. And Scotland will forever sound like this album to me. But God, like we're just like this. Corey and I would easily say this record's like in our top 5 of our life ever.
Wow.
So then we start going through all the songs and the Slow Blade. You know what that reference is? Dune.
Oh. Okay.
You remember, the force fields they have on?
I haven't never seen Dune.
You never seen it?
No.
Watch the new Dune remakes.
Okay.
He talks about the Slow Blade.
Okay.
And it's a Dune reference.
Oh.
And then I realized, he makes a Blade Runner reference in one of his songs. And like, he kind of has this, like, I feel like he and I grew up in the same era.
Right.
And have the same things that influenced us, but he just had this other, like, he's in a different world. Like, I'm not in the electronic world. Like, I didn't, learn how to make break beats and stuff like he did, or sampling and things like he was into. And I'm like, I revere that. I love hip hop. I love, I worked at a rap label for a long time, and I got into a lot of really good rap and hip hop because of it. But like, he comes from a different world, but this is where that world reaches across the aisle to me. It's sad. It's dark. It's not about turning up or doing drugs and losing your mind or anything. This is like,
I like that.
it's like watching your child. It's like visiting the spot where your childhood home burned down and just sitting there and going, okay, that's gone.
Wow.
And I feel that, and this more to me inspires me melodically. Just the way he thinks about composition and how nothing really repeats, but it does. But it's the feel. Like, however this record makes me feel, I want to put that on my records. Like, if everything else I'm using is to build the body, this is the personality or the perfume. This is the thing you go, I'll remember when that guy walks by, and it's just got this like forlorn sadness, like this heaviness to it, but also it just doesn't care about you. Like, you're insignificant to it. And it's like, it just is what it is. I love it. It's like, it's one of the records that I will find myself, it's on repeat and I never stop it. And I'm like, I have to stop listening to Lorn because and I have records. This is my Scotland record. He has a record called The Remnant. That's my winter record. And then the Maze to Nowhere is like everything in between. And then he's got a rarities. Like, dude, Lorn can't do any wrong. He released 3 singles, or 3 songs at least. And the rumor is he's got one more album he's going to make, and then he's abandoning the project. And it's like, I almost feel like my significant other's about to pass away. Damn. And I know it. I'm like, don't stop making music.
Right.
He's done some video game stuff and scoring. And honestly, this will never reach him, but if it does, I'm just like, you are the most innovative person in electronic music that I've heard that got me interested in electronic music. Because now I'm like, I found out about Clark, and I found out about Foe, and I found out about like all these other electronic artists because of him. And it somehow translates to the music I write.
Nice.
It's like the post-metal of the industrial EDM world. So
wow.
Yeah, I love it, dude. I'm obsessed with Lorn.
What a trip.
Yeah.
Great list. I appreciate you sharing it with me. Got to check out Bones and All. Got to check out Dune.
Yes.
I've got 5 goofy questions for you.
Hit me.
And we'll get you out of here.
Yeah.
The first is you are given the ability to have a cup of coffee with any one of your choosing, dead or alive. Who's it going to be and why?
My dad.
Bio?
The guy I consider my dad. My adoptive father.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Excellent.
Just 2 more minutes is good.
Yeah. This is a man of few words, wise. If come to him if you need help. Okay. I love it. If you can pretend or imagine that we all have a personal and a professional bucket list.
Yeah.
You're given all of the necessary resources to go knock out number 1 on both of those lists. What are those number 1s?
Bucket list. Personal. I think professional. I'll go with that. Bucket list. Professionally, I want to make a record where it's all done live, overdubs and everything. Everything you would add. Like if I was going to add one tambourine hit in a section of a song, I want all those people on the floor, and I want us to all be practiced, and I want to record a record like that.
That sounds amazing.
Top to bottom. And it's like live in a studio for however long it takes to do that. That's my bucket list.
Cool.
Yeah. Personal bucket list. Personal. Man, it's kind of hard because there's like, personally, there's things I want to, like my wife and I want to do, and then there's me. And it's like, I've learned the value of there's us and then there's me. I have to respect both of those things. So
you can have one for each.
Exactly. Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Let me split it. So for my wife and I want to build a house together.
Oh.
I want to design it with her. I want to like that. That's like, that would be so cool
for you guys to live in.
That's where we die.
Okay.
One of us has to suffer through the other one being gone there, or we have to die together.
Okay.
Hand in hand.
Yeah.
The other one personally, I want to do something that helps people in my community, whether it's music or Kansas City, enough that it helps them for like the next 40 years of their life.
Wow.
Like I want people to look back at it and go, if he didn't do that, I don't need to be remembered, but I want people to know that moment or whatever it is I did,
a human gesture occurred.
Yes. And that pervade art or hard work or something for the next 40 years until the next school.
So you don't want to go in the history books as one of those social media. This is what happens when you let the.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't.
It
I don't
used to be such a nice neighborhood.
I don't want my living legacy to be a racial slur. No, that would be really cool. Like that's a personal thing I want. Is like, even recognized or not, and even if I am recognized, don't care. I just want to know that I did something that furthers our community, our art, for the next 20 or 40 years.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. This one is not interested in changing who Josh Barber became. It's not cloaked in regret.
Okay.
It's just a goofy. You're given the ability to visit your past self at any age of your choosing. What age are you choosing, and what are you saying?
Ooh. I should make this one happier. Just on principle. I'm going to go back to 16-year-old Josh.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, listen, you coward. Get your driver's license. It's not that bad because you need a job. And you're putting it off. They had to like make me go do a driver's test. I was terrified of a car.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And I was, dude, now I love to drive. I love just like, you can ask, man, if you ask my wife, she's, what does Josh do every day? First thing is I get up, I go get coffee, and then I'll disappear for like 10, 15 minutes. I'll find a new road and I'll be like, ooh, look at that. Oh, that house is nice. And like drive back. I just like driving and listening to music. And
you always get coffee away from the home every day?
Yes. I
Okay.
always go see Dane in the morning. And I grab a large or a medium light ice cold brew, black.
Okay.
And it's because if I don't get away from the work, like, you know how everybody has a commute usually, or like they have to, like, that helps you get your mind ready for the day.
You're working from home.
I'm at home. Yeah. If I just wake up and I go downstairs, it's kind of like going, well, I'm already dead.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather prepare for that. And I
I
have to do
remember
it.
the days when I used to not just look out this window. I would be out there in the world.
Yeah, I remember going and getting like, oh, dude, bands hate me. They're like, oh, stay in the studio, we'll work, we'll order in food. I'm like, we need to go to the Mexican restaurant down the street.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I have to leave.
I want my clothes to smell like a fryer.
yeah,
Come on.
I got to get out of here. Yeah.
You're aware that at one point in time, there was a television program called Fear Factor.
Yes.
Because you win the prize by tolerating the gross challenge, whatever.
Yes.
This is not that. This is real life. You got to get from point A to point B. Halfway there, though, you come across your biggest source of fear, anxiety, creeps.
Yeah.
What is it?
The scariest thing to me,
Yeah.
loneliness. Like, not, a lot of people are like, oh, I'm alone. I could go to a desert island and be fucking happy.
Oh, no.
Right?
Being alone and lonely.
Two different things.
Yeah, buddy.
And loneliness, when people look at train wrecks, or they see a car flipped and you don't want to see the body, but you're kind of going to want to see the body. People do that with loneliness. I do that with loneliness. I see like truly lonely people and it scares the shit out of me, but I can't stop doing it. Like the guy that you can't stand that's going to walk up to your car and ask you for $5. But like I've met people that are like, they're asking you because it's like
Rough out here in these streets.
He doesn't want to ask you that question. Like that person, I've seen that person in isolation, like not performative, not like they're, having a bad day or like you catch them on an up moment. I've seen them sleeping in the train yards. And I've seen like the old man that has nobody to talk to that never married, like going, and I've seen that and it wells me up and it scares the shit out of me. And I have this, I've told this to my therapist, I have this absolute fear for no reason. That's going to happen to me. Like it's one of those absurd fears other than hurting my hands. I have a horrible phobia of hurting my hands, but dude, if somebody had to ask me actually loneliness or lose a finger, I'd be like, take two. Mm-hmm. Take two. I don't want to be actually lonely.
My therapist at one point told me, here's the whole swath of my clientele.
Yeah.
And they're all dealing with different shit. You could lump people together and like put categories,
segments,
but it's all different.
Yeah.
But no matter what, all of them, their number one biggest fear is dying alone.
Yes.
And I was like, and then I'm like, oh,
honestly, I could die alone.
Right.
Like alone, but I could never die lonely. Like if I was like the mythical male bleed out spot,
yeah,
I'm kind of into that. If I know at home my wife loves me and they're going to tell her like, yeah, Josh fought that bear. He died, but he saved 5 people. I could die like that.
Yeah.
But if I go,
no,
she hates me and nobody wants to talk to me and I'm about to die from this bear, I'd be like, I got to kill this bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, like alone and lonely. Like
right.
I think that's why I'm afraid of drowning. Because, like, how lonely is that?
Pretty fucking lonely.
That's pretty lonely. Burning in a fire, not as lonely to
Yeah.
me. But, yeah, like, the darkness and scariness of drowning, that's a third. Loneliness, hand thing, and then drowning. Yeah,
All right. Last but not least, you're given... I'm sorry. Complete this for me, please.
Yeah.
The world would immediately become a better place in which to live if only...
people would look at other people and realize we're all the same.
God, man, you said that about the person asking for money. There's more often than not, if you're on northbound 71 and you get off on the 75th Street exit to hang a left, there's a woman.
Yep.
You know who I'm talking about?
I know exactly.
No, you don't.
I drive 71 all the time. And in fact, on 75th, you said?
Yes.
Yeah. I try to avoid the highway because I like to wander and I like to drive.
Yeah.
So I will always I'll go down through Swope Park or I'll go to Raytown Road and I'll just wind back and then I'll come back through like Brookside into Prairie Village into Mission Hills and I'll swing left and I'll go through that whole viaduct. Like, one of my favorite drives is Benton Boulevard. Like, beautiful homes. It's a cool area, but it's lonely. There's a lot of shit that happens down there. It's a part of town that has been marginalized and forgotten about and undeveloped. And
well, this gal, she sits. So if you take that exit, you can turn left from both lanes.
Yeah.
She sits like on the curb, so her feet are kind of like basically almost in the lane.
Yeah.
She probably weighs 90 pounds.
Yeah.
Shoulder length hair. And I feel like she's almost always got a tank top and jeans and flip flops. And I've never seen her face because it's never up.
No, she's always down. Yeah, she's got it behind the thing.
And I just see her and I go, fuck.
Is it shame? Is it tiredness? Like, what is it that, like, I've seen her. Yeah. And there's people out there. And that's like, I understand some people, they know they're being predatory when they come up to you and they're being shitty. It's like blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I still realize that's a person. So I try not to be too shitty. But like when there's somebody that's like clearly just another human suffering, it's hot or it's cold or it's like,
or it's lonely.
When I see those people, I don't shy away. I just go, yo, what's up, man? I treat them like a normal person. So like, yo, you got $5? I was like, I was going to ask you the same thing. And then they kind of laugh. And I'm like, you can find out if somebody really needs $5,
Pretty quick,
like really quickly. And like a lot of people are very, very lonely or they carry a lot of shame for the situation they're in. And it's like, man, it goes for everything, like politically, like if you had a conversation with somebody politically, if you just realize that's another human across the way, if you have a conversation with somebody religiously, you just realize it's another human across sitting the way. If we treated people better, you would see less problems, I think. But I don't think we'll ever see that because the problem is people are the problem. I have bad days. Man, you don't want to catch me on a bad day. I am the worst.
Hothead.
Yeah, I am a hothead. This is why I don't own a gun. I would equalize the smallest inconvenience with a gun to a face. Like, I'm terrible about it.
What do you mean they're not making pennies anymore?
It's like, yeah, exactly. The fuck you mean my food's not ready?
Yeah.
Like, I'm terrible. I have an attitude. I'm aggressive and I'm doing better. I'm so mild at 43 now. Way more mild than I was in my 20s. And also therapy helped me realize like, oh, here's why I'm unhealthy. And so I'm working on a lot of things still, but like, yeah, man, I think if we just, treated people as people and realize that's a person,
right?
Like I say, treat people like you're in a car and they're on a bicycle. You can hurt them easier than
I want to hurt most bicyclists.
I've been through Prairie Village as well. If I see another Aiden wandering, first off, never mind. I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah.
I just had this talk with a buddy who rides bikes, and they are like, yeah, those people are jerks. I'm like, okay, good. There's good people out there on bikes.
Yeah. At Idle Heirs on Instagram. Life is Violence from 2025 is on Bandcamp and the streaming platforms. You got merch on the site, Facebook, YouTube. Other plugs?
No, that's it. Like, check out the band. It means the most to me right now outside of my personal life. Follow me at The American Josh if you want.
Yeah.
If you want to talk to me about production and stuff.
And
then
that's the channel for folks to find you / hire you.
I can't hide. I don't want to have a website. I think that's impersonal too.
Yeah.
You can go on my The American Josh one and see like what I'm doing in studios and where I'm at, and I'll do more stuff on there. I am very protective of my personal life, but like you get as much as I'll give you. And usually it's hot dog memes, silly cartoon drawings, cats, or band related stuff.
Sure.
So like, it's silly and it's approachable. And I love talking to everybody.
Nice.
Like you'll know when you've crossed a line because I'll just say, yo, I'm not talking about that. But dude, Idle Heirs, like come out to a show, buy a vinyl, do whatever. We're working on the new album. I got other projects. I'm doing more musical endeavors that hopefully in the next year or two will be out. So
cool.
Just doing all that.
Is there anything that you had hoped that we would cover that we did not?
Nah, this was really fun.
Thanks.
I think you covered a lot and it was like a fun conversation and you're really good at I usually am so embarrassed about talking. You kept pulling things out of me. I'm like, I am not shutting up right now. Usually I'm like, I don't know.
I'm just trying to make it not suck.
No, you're doing a great job.
Thanks.
This is awesome. It's been really fun. So.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to meet you. I definitely did not intend to keep you here for 3 hours.
Oh, it's been 3 hours?
But I appreciate it and hope to talk to you soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that was really fun, man.
Thank you.
3 hours? I didn't even realize it.